Good evening and welcome everybody to From the Ink Up number 63. I'm Nate the Great, one of your commentators today, member of the Whip Rays, and I'm joined here by my splusty bestie, Jordan. How are you doing today?
Hello, I am doing great. I am Jordan. I am aka Squidoku, and I am here with Nate to commentate this edition of From the Ink Up.
That's great to hear. So, for those of you who are maybe new to this tournament or to the Splatoon scene, From the Ink Up is a skill-capped tournament, meaning that all of the players here have been reviewed and are below a certain skill cap. So that allows more people from the lower level of the scene to be able to play and have a good tournament experience. The skill cap for this particular tournament is at about the Ludi Div 7 level, which still has people all the way up into X rank and such, if that's what you're used to. So there's lots of high quality games today. We're very excited for the matches. And it's always really fun to be able to participate in these kinds of tournaments, as we see a lot of, up and coming new teams and new players in the tournament, and as well as a lot of returning faces. So we're gonna see some really good games today. For people who maybe haven't watched this tournament before, what are some of the things that we should be looking out for, Jordan?
Yeah, well, I think we'll be looking out for some good games, some exciting games. We've got a relatively consistent map list. The maps and modes that we see in this tournament, it does include all 4 of the ranked modes in the game. No turf war here, but we will be seeing Splat Zones, Tower Control, Rainmaker, and Clam Blitz on a variety of maps. Generally, the maps that the competitive community does tend to consider more balanced, more fair, less susceptible to cheesy strategies or that aren't so frustrating to play on like a few of the maps can be. But these tend to be the best of the best in terms of the maps and modes in the game.
Yeah, that's right. And when looking for the right kinds of maps in tournament plays and in competitive play, we're looking for maps and modes that lend themselves to, good back and forth play. We don't want anybody to be able to get an advantage and then just steamroll through consistently. We want the defenders to have a chance to fight back. We want attackers to also have a chance to get something going. So nothing too defender friendly, nothing too attacker friendly. And so as we start getting ready to get into our next match, we are going to be looking at the rosters for this match. We have members of Andromeda versus Squid Life Crisis. Both of these teams right in the middle seeding wise, so we're looking at maybe right around the middle of the pack for this tournament, probably looking for bronze or silver placements. If they pull off a really good win today, though, they could look for the gold bracket placement. That being said, thinking about our first map of the day, we've got Hagglefish Market, Tower Control. Thinking about this map, Jordan, what are some of the things that you're looking out for as these teams try to make their push?
Yeah, so as teams are trying to push, they will be taking the tower, goes towards, from the pusher's perspective, the right side, and that's going to be defended pretty strongly from that canopy, that covered area over on that side of the map. Of course, having a long-range charger maybe stationed on the glass that's a little bit further forward can really cover a lot of the tower path if they can get set up there. And so in order to really push the tower, you'll have to make sure that kind of defense there isn't already stationed there. You might have to push them out with some kind of special or with a long-range weapon of your own if you can get into position with it.
Yeah, and looking at the kind of rosters, trying to think of what kinds of comps we might get, this map in particular always makes me think you're probably going to want some range here to kind of deal with those long corridors that are on Hagglefish, right? And especially if you want to add some pressure to the tower from a safe distance, right? You're going to want a little bit of range. And it looks like, at least on the side of Squid Life Crisis, we've got a number of anchor options available. We do see Ziggy with that ballpoint or the Rapid. We might have Rua there with maybe a Hydra or a Leader or a Pen. Whereas Andromeda, most of them running more short-range options, although a sub on the side of Gel may be running a Pencil, but we're seeing, we might see a bit of interesting kind of matchup between these teams. All things considered, should be a rather exciting matchup between the teams. We'll see what kinds of strategies work out for them. Thinking about those strategies, by the way, we're getting into this first match. We'll take a quick look at the weapon compositions here that we were looking for. We do see a mostly backless comp, although a C-Jet coming out. Interesting pick for that, as well as the D-Rapid. Not terribly surprised by that pick. Whale going to be really helpful for clearing the tower. We do see both teams opting for strikes to give them something to move people off of the tower as the teams move into mid here. Blaster kind of poking out this 52 out of the way. Just get set up, and that cooler is going to come out and give them a chance to walk in here. 52 is just going to push up here as quickly as possible. Get in on this left side, try to draw some attention. Gets to the fight, doesn't quite get the pick though, and that's going to be 2 down on the side of, I believe that is Andromeda in the blue. And that's going to give, I think, Crisis here a bit of a chance to do something. Bucket kind of getting caught out, and that's going to put a big dagger on their side.
Yeah, Good Life Crisis already getting all the way past through that first checkpoint and getting closer on their way to the second one. There is that Rapid Blaster Pro Deco putting the pressure on the tower though, and with 2 going down on the side of Squid Life Crisis, it looks like Andromeda are going to stop that push as it gets to the 48 mark, excuse me. Then now they are going to try to start that tower push of their own. They are just letting the tower ride out to mid, not having any station on yet, even though Squid Life Crisis are a little bit backed up and a little bit grouped up there on that point, that switchback point where the terrain drops down to mid. But now one player on Squid Life Crisis there getting that pick as the tower does return back to mid, and this is going to be another relatively neutral situation. Both teams having 1 or 2 or 3 specials ready as the tower is back in mid.
Yeah, Squid Life Crisis, so breaking through that first checkpoint very early already. That's going to give them a lot of chances later on in the game to score some more points and lengthen that lead. Andromeda, though, still 2 minutes into the game. We're nearly halfway through. Still a little bit on the back foot here, although with these strikes coming out, might have a chance to make something happen. Members of Squid Life Crisis getting very grouped up on that switchback quite frequently. It's gonna get taken out. It's gonna be that. That's gonna put them in a 2-down situation. This rain, though, gonna give Andromeda a little bit of trouble. Forced to back out into mid, splitting the team up. A lot of the members kind of pushed up on the right side, trying to get something to happen. Catch the shot off yard just a little bit, and the strikes coming out. That should give them a really good chance at the checkpoint if they can stay on this tower long enough. That said, strikes coming out from Squid Life Crisis and the Buckets trading each other. One more going down on Andromeda might stall the tower long enough for this checkpoint to not get broken. That being said, it's here now, and that point timer is ticking away very quickly. Nobody on Squid Life Crisis in position to contest it, and that's going to break the checkpoint, giving them a chance to maybe take the lead here.
Yeah, this is a really strong position for Andromeda. One of those players, Yoshi, getting off the tower for a little bit, but allowing their teammate to stay on the tower, and that does give Andromeda a very slight lead here, a 3-point lead. They do go 3 down for it though, as the tower is returning to the mid, and Squid Life Crisis will be able to put together a push of their own, but they have that cooler ready to go, they have that Trizuka ready to go as well, as they that looks like it's going out right now. One player going down on each team, but Squid Life Crisis now just taking the tower once again. They aren't really pushing it super aggressively at the moment, letting the rest of the team come back in before they go for another attempt at it, bringing out those specials, that Tri-Strikes and the Inkstorm as well, using the Inkstorm in conjunction with that Toxic Mist to clear out that tent, and that's going to be huge for Squid Life Crisis, especially as they get 2 down, but there's a flank coming out from the Bucket. They aren't going to hold onto the tower for quite as long as they would like, though. They have that cooler, they have jumps coming in, though, but Andromeda are getting back into position to defend, and it's only a 1-point difference between where the two teams have put the tower so far.
Yeah, very, very close plays here. These jumps getting a little bit dicey here, but managing to bat their way out. The Whale's going to push them back even further here, and that's going to give Andromeda here a chance back in the mid. They do have to lead, but it's very slight, and if you're them, you want to get the tower out of the way, but Squidlight Crisis is not letting up. That Zook is going to take down 2 members. 3 again, getting 3 of the members down. The strikes are coming out. There goes another one. That's a full wipe on the side of Andromeda's lawn as the siege doesn't go down. But Yoshi here trying to stop the tower as quickly as possible before they can try to take the lead. There's the lead slot though. Squidlight Crisis taking it. This rain giving them a lot of trouble here. That's going to give Andromeda some trouble as they're all grouped up on this left side. This defensive ground that they need to spread out if they want to make sure that they don't all get taken out by one bomb or one good shot. You can see the members of Squidlight Crisis. There's that Zuka coming out again, finding another member. The bomb is going to get the rest of it. Now at this point, Squidlight Crisis just has to hold the tower back away from Andromeda for another 10 seconds to try to take game 1. That cooler's going to come out and give them a lot of pressure here in the last couple of seconds. If you're Andromeda, you've got to run at the tower as soon as possible and get control of it. They do have it. The Zap going to trade out a few more, but they got off the tower, and that's going to be game 1 to Squidlight Crisis.
Yeah, these teams, both of them were a little bit on the slow side, moving in and like making the most of the advantages that they created. But Squidlight Crisis did manage to get the tower just a little bit further than Andromeda were, and it really helped for them that they were able to put together 2 pushes compared to Andromeda's 1 of any real significance there. Since they had already gotten through that significantly bigger first checkpoint that takes a lot longer to get through than the other 2. Since Squidlight Crisis had already gotten through that allowed them to get the tower a little bit further, a little bit sooner on that push than they would have on the first time around. And so having that extra push, especially since they were able to win that first engagement and basically just get the first possession of the objective, that I think sealed the deal for them because it allowed them to start that last push that they made on a slightly more advantageous level.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and thinking about what adjustments you might make getting into Macro Mart zones, you have to think, you know, when you get that chance, when you get that advantage, when you have the opportunity to push up and to take space and to get more picks and to get more special, you want to take it, right? And we saw a couple of times members being a little bit scared, wanting to push in, but not wanting to get picked off. And so the teams would group up on kind of those choke points that you really want to be moving through and move past them into the better position. So thinking about this map, there's quite a few positions you can take that are very, very helpful. The main ones being the stacks on either side of the zone. Both teams were running buckets, and I would be extremely surprised to not see them on this map. This is bucket heaven here. As well as the Zuka pick from Squidlight Crisis might be pretty helpful here to give them some explosive advantage and a little bit of pressure on, you know, on lockout. So I'm interested to see. I would be very surprised to see too many changes here from either team. Both teams pretty equally matched. If you're Andromeda, don't count yourself out, right? You want to just get back into it, take the loss. It was a close one, and try to take the next 2 games.
Yeah, and if Andromeda are able to push forward a little bit and just hold onto that zone for longer, of course, that's the name of the game here in Splat Zones. And another thing that Mako Mart does have going for it as a map is that it's pretty easy to flank on here. We are going to be getting right into it here. I see a Dreadringer coming out from Bittersweet on the side of Andromeda, whereas Squidlight Crisis do appear to be running something similar to what they had before, although they have that Splatoon Stamper coming out as well.
Yeah, we don't see the bucket for Squidlight Crisis, but the Leaf Slider pick from the Dread going to be here to help cap the zone with a little bit of zone lead. This cooler coming out at a very nice time for Squidlight Crisis here in the orange. Going to be walking out and winning this fight 3 down very quickly, even though Andromeda did have the cooler. They're going to get back all the way. If you're Squidlight Crisis, you want to move up here and get some takedowns. Members are all going to swarm this sword if they're not careful about it. we do see the Zuka coming out. The Dread goes down a little bit early. Rapid going down. Zuka's going to be dueling. One of them goes down in zone, but the timer's ticking away, and 2 members are down on the side of Andromeda already.
Yeah, although, yeah, it is Squidlife Crisis who have the zone here. Hang on, let me take a look. Yeah, so that is Squidlife Crisis in the orange, Andromeda in the purple. Squidlife Crisis are in control of the zone here, and they are the team that is about to knock it out 100 to 0.
Yeah, 100 to 0 KO, very quick order. Andromeda just couldn't quite come together really going. Members coming down one at a time. When you think about that, when your respawn gets staggered out like that, it gets very difficult to mount and come back, break through that enemy defense and retake the zone. So while Squidlife Crisis has won this set, there is still one more game that is they play all 3 format. And so if you're Andromeda, you still want to try to, take the win that you can whenever you can. If you're Andromeda in this situation, how might you kind of adjust? What do you chat about with your teammates during this time to try to make sure that, you can kind of shake off the loss and get back in and try to play the rest of the game a little bit better?
Yeah, it's tough to do. It's really hard to figure out what kind of works for your team, and of course different teams can respond to this kind of setback in different ways. You could try to laugh it off. You could try to just focus on what set or what game is coming next. Could maybe try to be a little more adventurous the next time. Try something that might be a little bit more bold and a little more likely to catch the other team off guard, or just try to keep going what you're strong with, as we are going to head to Game 3, which will be Clam Blitz on Crableg Capital.
Yeah, Clam on Crableg is, for my team, we tend to run a Hydra, so this is definitely a nice map for our team. And, thinking about this map, with all the verticality of it, you've got that great bridge that goes all the way across the middle, as well as some, kind of multiple routes, multiple little hallways and lanes that people can traverse. There's definitely a need for a bit of range here. Lots of different weapons can thrive. You tend to see a lot of splat lanes. You tend to see a lot of blasters or Splatoon stampers and stuff like that. So the main thing, though, compared to the other modes that we've seen, is that in Clam Blitz, you need a lot more sustained pressure, right? You can't just be explosive and win and, try to get a bunch of points and then stall it out, right? You have to win one fight and then win another fight, and then make sure you score and win the fight after that if you want to get a good push going. So there's a lot of coordination involved, a lot of setup before you want to cash in those points.
Yeah, and that's especially true on the slightly larger maps, whereas if we were playing Clam Blitz on, say, Mako Mart like we just saw, the baskets are so close together that just winning one fight can give you enough space to get right into range to score a clam on the enemy basket. But here on Crableg Capital, the map is a lot bigger, and the baskets are relatively well protected. Of course, there is that big ramp that goes right up onto the enemy's plat area that you can score from, but getting through that choke point in the first place is going to require some kind of advantage. There are multiple ways to get in, but each of them independently is a little bit hard to get through. You're going to need to put something together to do that, and it looks like Squidlife Crisis are sticking with something similar. Both teams running that Rapid Blaster Pro deco now, and in fact the only difference between the two teams is that we have Bittersweet on the Dreadringer from Squidlife Crisis, and Kai and Jay on the Splatoon Stamper there on the side of Andromeda.
You've got dueling rapid decos here, not as uncommon to get your wheel being very strong and the blaster helpful for clearing out those parts. As this Dread's going to get a nice picking hit. You're going to have to run away from the Zuka though, make sure you don't get blown up, even though you have coolers. But we see the chip from that rapid and the Zuka making the members back up quite a bit. Not a lot of presence on the left side here. It's going to let the members of Squidlife Crisis kind of walk in just a little bit. That said, although I believe this is Squid Life Crisis in the blue. They're going to push up here really quick. Going to walk right past the Zap, get rid of them, and then we're going to see this Root Slider here maybe in just a second to push up. But it goes down a little bit early. That's 2 members down already on the side of Squid Life Crisis. They're going to have to abandon this push, but still a really strong opening push, getting it all the way down to 56. That's past that kind of 60-point mark that people are usually looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that Squid Life Crisis have made it to 66 remaining, whereas Andromeda are still waiting for their first points, and they are only just getting into mid now, and still losing their Katana Stamper, which is a very strong fighting weapon here, and also the splatter shot's going down as well. They don't really have that kind of concerted effort, and they aren't really able to get the picks on Squid Life Crisis that they would be looking for. In fact, Squid Life Crisis do have quite a lot of plans at their disposal as well, so if they're able to take advantage of those splats they got, but going down to a bomb is going to delay their plans just a little bit, especially losing that tactical killer that was just ready to go.
Nice enough play by the shot here to back up, but gets picked off just a little bit as Andromeda just rolls in here. Platonic Stamper camping this ledge, going to put a lot of pressure out. It's very difficult to deal with in this particular spot. Cooler comes out, and that might give them the go-ahead. The Zipcaster as well, that's going to give them a lot of pressure. The Whale as well, all of them running up onto the flat, trying to get a couple of picks. 2 down on Squid Life Crisis. Zip's going to go back 3 down. That's going to give Andromeda a way in if they can get the clams ready. This Stamper holding the majority of them. They need 2 more to make a ball. There it is, and here comes another one in the jump, and that's going to give them... Oh no, they missed the ball. That's going to not give them those scores, and 2 more going down. Andromeda, this shot going to try to get him, but they managed to get the lead just barely, finding that power clam and putting it in there. Going to try to clear out the stamp as quickly as possible. There it goes, and that's going to finally give them a chance to walk back in the mid here. About halfway through, and both teams pretty equally matched at the moment. Going to have to see, which team manages to figure out this push and kind of get the remaining score that they need here.
Yeah, that was looking a little bit scary for Andromeda, but being able to have that Stamper pick up the clam after it was dropped by the player on by their teammate, I believe that was the Zap, but that's okay. They can recover that, and as we saw, they were able to score it, and in addition, toss in a couple more, because that wouldn't have been enough for the lead just getting those 2 power clams, and they really needed to get those extra 2 to, of course, take the lead. And now it is a relatively neutral situation here, but 2 go down on the side of Squid Life Crisis, and so Andromeda are able to put another push in. Andromeda able to score a little bit more here, getting through all the penalty points that they accumulated and increasing their lead even further. There is that pick from the Stamper, looking for another, able to get another, looking for a third, still surviving just long enough to get their teammates in to score a few more clams, getting it down to 30 remaining. So now Squid Life Crisis have quite a bit further to go with only 1 minute remaining in this game.
Yeah, they will need at least 2 power clams plus, I think, maybe 3 clams to take the lead here. They do have the clams at hand. Now it's just a matter of getting all the way to the basket. But this shot on this top left side is going to give them a little bit of trouble if they're not careful about it. Gonna pop Bazooka maybe a little bit early in this. Now stuck on. That's great. Not an easy place to get out of, but manages to take out the member of Squid Life Crisis that got pushed up here. They're gonna lose their Zuka as well. Whale is their kind of main option here. This shark here is maybe going to give them a bit of trouble if they're not careful. Whale comes out. Now the shot can drop in. Everybody's grouped up. Can't quite manage to find the play. Does get one. And everybody is now scrambling and getting pitched on all sides. Squid Life Crisis getting completely routed by Andromeda here. There goes the third one. Now they're all gone on their plat. Still though, Andromeda's opting to back up and play this standing defense very patiently. Squid Life Crisis hasn't lost those claims. This Zuka coming out finding one, does find another as well. Squid Life Crisis is going to have a mountain to find if they want to get in here. Andromeda is going to run the power clam all the way in, and that's going to be the game for them as they take game 3 and hold off the 3-0 shutout.
Yeah, huge plays there from that shot on Andromeda, getting around without attracting the attention of Squid Life Crisis, getting behind them, and in fact forcing them to drop down by coming at them from behind and right into the waiting fire of the teammates who were able to punish them for that drop that they were forced to make. And that just completely took the wind out of Squid Life Crisis' sails and prevented any kind of comeback there as they dropped those power clans, and Andromeda were able to just sweep in and score one of their own.
Yoshi here on that shot, showing up for Andromeda and helping them lead them to that victory in Game 3. That said, the winner for the set is going to be Squid Life Crisis. They will have their shot at Silver Bracket if they can manage to take one more win in their group. And Andromeda is going to be fighting to get into Bronze here for the next couple of games. Don't go away. We've still got a couple more rounds of groups for y'all, and we will be right back with those in just a moment. from the Ink Up 63. I'm Nate the Great, joined here by my co-host Jordan Squidoku, and we're excited to bring to you round two of our round robin group stage. We've got our teams for this round: Time to Win versus RIT Krabby Red Academy. And looking forward to this matchup. We're going to get right into it right away. Looking at Scorched Gorge Rainmaker. Pretty fast-paced map sometimes with a lot of long-range pressure opportunities for most teams. Going to run some longer things as we get into the game footage here as soon as we can manage it. Jordan, what are you looking for on this particular map?
Yeah, on this, I definitely think going for the pop is going to be somewhat important, but what really makes a difference is how you set up to fight around that pop. Whether you are able to get the fights, get the players in the right spot, but also while watching out for potential flanks. And it does make a difference if your team is able to get all of that turf on top mid painted or not, as well as keeping an eye out for, say, potential backline support from the enemy's snipe area, which has such a good point of view over so much of each side of mid.
Yeah, that top mid area, commonly called either just top mid or sometimes people call it out as castle, right? Very important place where, like you said, you can get a really high vantage point with a lot of information there, as well as more range. It's a very difficult place to kind of dislodge people from. So as we get into this, we have Time to Win here in the kind of yellowish color, as well as Krabby Red Academy here in the bluish purple. Getting into this comp, we see the Seja coming out from Sunday here. Interesting pick here as well with Thermal Ink and the Object Shredder. Maybe they were expecting that crab pick from Blake there on the credit. As we see these teams kind of rolling out, we're going to get Crab here really quickly. Time to Win, going to win the pop here and get this Crab set up on the top right. Does fall off just a little bit though. Going to try to get this pick. Though does get it. That's 2 down for Krabby Red Academy. Time to Win coming out here really strong. Going to push them onto this balloon as quickly as possible. Gets rid of the striker as quick as they can. And they're already up here on their balloon looking for that first checkpoint as quick as they can.
Yeah, they've got 2 players up there in front with those high DPS weapons, high damage weapons, and allowing their teammate holding the Rainmaker to get close to that checkpoint. Not quite able to make it there as they get taken out. But with another flank coming out from Jelly here on the side, that does give Time to Win enough time to go for the Rainmaker again, pick it up once again, and get through that checkpoint early on.
Excellent work there, utilizing that other route to pull some attention away from the checkpoint where Krabby Red Academy is trying to hold off any more points. This Crab, though, going to give them a lot of trouble and keep them backed up for just a bit longer. Might give Time to Win more time to get their team back in. And they are still backed up all the way onto their plat, carrying this Rainmaker. Might want to run it over to the right if they want to get it off. Going to drop it off the plat immediately, trying to run it out of the way. That bomb's going to stop them in their tracks, so as Time to Win still showing that it's their time to pull it through as more members of Krabby Red Academy are going down left and right. Do manage to trade out a couple of members, but they still have a firm hold in mid. This Crab, though, hoping to give them a chance out. That's going to be 3 down for Time to Win. All of a sudden, that packet as well, they're going to want to hold up, get some paint down in mid, grab that Rainmaker, and start making a push of their own.
Yeah, getting that numbers advantage of their own. Krabby Red Academy, RIT here, are able to get the Rainmaker picked up, but going down, I think that was a shot from the Crab tank set up by Time to Win, and that seems to be stalling RIT in their tracks. Time to Win here, going to want to put another stop, although RIT able to pick up the Rainmaker once again. More specials are coming out here from Time to Win, and that's going to take out 3 players on the side of RIT and give Time to Win an opportunity to make another push of their own. They will be wanting to push further than the checkpoint just to secure more power for their lead.
And DCAP getting caught out a little bit in front of their team. Even though they're kind of giving their team a bit of a chance, that's going to be another one down. Just the Rainmaker and the one up in front, but the Ring getting a nice hit, getting one more of those. Even though it goes down, there's jumps for Time to Win coming in. That Crab tank is going to run out before they can get much value out of it. They are still set up here to make a push as their own crowd is going to come out and give their team a way in. Might catch this jump off guard, does take out the sword, and this is looking really good for Time to Win here as they're pinching all of the members of Krabby Red Academy out. It's just the edit left. There's nobody standing in their way. The Zipcaster going to come out. Nice wall, though, to hold off this push just a little bit longer, and the strike's going to push them back. Really well played here. It's just the Rainmaker left. They're going to run it as quick as they can, but the Rain does switch it into P-Tech and takes another with it, and there's another jump coming in. If they don't see this, this could be trouble. It does manage to take out the sword, and it's just the edit left again. Time to Win still holding on to this push as long as they possibly can. Bucket takes out the crab with the help of their friend, and they are still set up to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, but the Rainmaker does seem poised to reset. There it is. It has gone back. I think you can say that is good damage limitation there by RIT, Krabby Red Academy. They did a good job of forcing Time to Win back, and so Time to Win have to make another push here as they are picking up the Rainmaker again, bringing over the short route as there is no defense from RIT at the moment on that side. Their teammates are holding back those players on the side of RIT, and there is those price strikes coming out. Unfortunately, that does mean dropping down and getting taken out, and there's less than a minute here. Time to Win have been doing very well at keeping that Rainmaker on the side of RIT. It has been popped once again, and they might not want to pick it up just yet, but they won't really mind if it resets again, because they can just go back and pick it up because they have been doing such a good job of holding that space.
And, you know, you've got a big lead here, and on sports, it's hard to break past that checkpoint and get much further. With only 15 seconds left, Krabby Red Academy has to get all the way into mid and pop the Rainmaker and pick it up if they want to shot it overtime. They're throwing everything they have at it, but there just may not be enough time. Time to Win staying alive as long as possible, keeping their presence and their uptime on the map, and that's going to be it for game one as that goes to Time to Win. Really well played by them to constantly keep presence on the map. I don't think we saw them wipe once that game. And even when they would go, you know, 1, 2, 3 members down and specials coming out from Academy here, always there was somebody ready to stay alive and get their team back in and keep a presence on the map so that they never really got run over. There was never a, you know, clear, huge open opportunity. They had to make, you know, Krabby Red Academy earn every inch of space that they wanted to take.
Yeah, I will say though, earlier in that game, we did see a little bit of good damage limitation from RIT. They managed to pause that push that Time to Win were doing at the 38-point mark, using their specials pretty well, using that splash wall in addition, and getting those players down. However, that survival by the Rainmaker, great job there. I do not quite recall who was holding on to that, but that was some really good thinking, using those Rainmaker shots to take out a couple players and not going down without a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, strong work by Time to Win here to make things difficult, but, you know, Krabby Red Academy doing their best to hold them off, and that's what really, when it comes down to it, that's what matters. Upsets are always possible, and getting into Inkblot Clams, this is another map that, you know, like we said before, in Clams requires a lot of sustained pressure, and that feels like Time to Win strength at the moment in this matchup. So I'll be interested to see if there's many changes here, but Time to Win definitely looking like the team to beat in this particular situation. Sunday sticking to that C-Jet here, going up against a lot of weapons that it outranges, so it's going to have a bit of an easier time challenging a lot of things. We see the C Blaster, custom range blaster coming out for Krabby Red Academy here. Interesting pick, probably looking for a bit of AoE to work around these corners on the stacks and get them some pressure there. The crowd's going to come out very early from Time to Win. This Plat getting it immediately. Time to Win already taking their time to get up into their Plat, and that's going to be the early wipeout right away. Sunday has the power tank ready, and they're going to get this going as soon as possible.
Yeah, and there's Jelly over on the bats area, trying to get those clams in from the side, not actually staying on there and putting the pressure on. There's also a player who has gotten around behind Time to Win from RIT. They did manage to get the trade and to keep Time to Win back a little bit further, even though there were over 40 points scored, getting that down to 59 remaining. That is a good number for Time to Win, but as we saw in our previous set, that can change hands very quickly. That can change hands on the very next push. If RIT are able to get a push in, that is. They haven't really been able to maintain a presence in mid, and that crab tank, even though it held them back for a little bit, it did go down, and this crab tank of their own might be just what they need.
Yeah, that said, those 3 members going down, they didn't see Jelly. I don't know if there's any communication going on or a lapse in communication. As Jelly has been taking this right flank very frequently and taking a lot of space, pulling a lot of attention. But members of Red Academy not able to turn to deal with it. Jelly has just been allowed to kind of live and is still living on this right side. They have Hammer ready, looking for some unsuspecting members to maybe pop out. There goes the try, already on the right side of the map. Going to throw the hammer, and that's, again, we see Time to Win maintaining pressure constantly, never really giving Krabby Red Academy a chance to breathe here, as they're not going to let themselves go down without a fight.
Oh yeah, unfortunate going down to that bomb as soon as they pop those tri-strikes. And now it's Time to Win's turn to put on the tri-strikes of their own. But there's a Kraken coming out. That Kraken will be the last line of defense, and it is causing Time to Win to have to back up as they get rushed down by the Kraken. But wisely backing up as that Kraken is coming to an end. I believe that is defenestrated on the side of RIT, is on the custom range blaster, and manages to survive even though they were getting caught. And so RIT looks like they are starting to make a little bit of ground up. I believe there is one player from behind, though. It is Jelly once again using that hammer, getting it another player on the throw with it, and that is going to clear plenty of space. They've picked up a power clan, they've gotten a splat, and now as the X-Storm is coming in up the front, that clears the way for another power clan to go in for Time to Win.
And we're going to see Sunday here managing to hold up onto their fly as long as possible. Gets taken out trying to get that, but gets the jump in for Jelly, who's going to score the power claim. Puts the points all the way down to 15. And again, we're seeing Jelly making the rest of us a little bit jelly with these plays and these flanks here, putting a lot of pressure on Krabby Red Academy. And they're going to have to, they have quite the mountain to climb if they want to get the lead here. They have to score 85 points in order to get close to taking the lead. And while they have the specials to do it, they need the momentum. And Time to Win is killing it. There's Jelly again, there to try to hold it back, but gets taken down already. They throw the power climb out and get the trade, but there's still one more left on the pot. They have to be able to break into that siege that is going to hold them back very long, just long enough to stall them out. And that's 2 down. The defense coming in clutch here Sunday on that siege, holding down, denying that space from Krabby Red Academy, and Jelly cleaning up again and pushing members back. That's going to kill that momentum once again. The blaster going down. They only have 1 minute left if they want to try to mount this comeback, and it's not looking good for them.
Yeah, there's that crab tank coming up from Carl. Even though it's a little bit further forward compared to where the fight is happening, and as we see, it did just get taken out by that custom range blaster, it still allows Time to Win to really get into mid and to take the space that they want. Even RIT's own crab tank isn't going to get any clicks, no splats, but the Kraken is looking to do that itself. And maybe this time RIT will really want to try and get a score on their next push. They have some space here, but doing these tri-strikes, especially in conjunction with 3 players going down, are going to put an end to that momentum that RIT has. So Time to Win, scoring another push. They could even knock this out here.
Yeah, they're looking for it. They only need one more claim if they want to do it. The Crab has it. There goes Sunday, grabbing it from under the basket and dunking that last claim in for the KO. That's going to put Time to Win into the 2-0 spot, taking the set. There still will be one more game to play it out, but Time to Win definitely showing up and showing that it's their time.
Oh, absolutely. It is Time to Win for Time to Win. Bringing in that wiper from Jelly. Such aggressive play, and being able to get in, get behind the players. RIT just weren't really watching. They weren't really paying enough attention to that wiper, and that just that just allowed Jelly to just wreak havoc with the Ultra Stamp and get everything they wanted really out of that.
Yeah, we're seeing Time to Win, true to their name, taking their time in a lot of these pushes, not overextending, not giving uh Academy, anything for free. We see on occasion a couple of members of Krabby Red Academy dropping in aggressively to try to win fights and take space, but kind of dropping right into the enemy's hands in a way and giving them kind of an easy pick. And so that patience required to maintain aggression and to maintain that constant pressure is one of those things that I think is incredibly difficult in this game to pull off. But Time to Win is doing a very good job showcasing that, making sure that they move up when they think it's the right moment, not trying to force anything through. As we get into game 3 of this set, Splat Zone on Barnacle and Dime, we see Time to Win holding up with pretty similar comp, although swapped from the Crab Splash to the Strikes Splash. We have a double Strikes comp on their side, as well as Blake swapping to the Pencil there on the side of Krabby Red Academy. Interesting picks here, and they make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Pencil is a weapon that we do see a whole lot of in competitive Splatoon. It is such a popular pick. It's almost surprising to see that it hasn't even made a single appearance until now, from what we have seen at least. And that has allowed RIT to at least take the zone, preventing Time to Win from getting more than the first, say, 20 points as well, in conjunction with that big bubbler coming out from that mid-decapitator. That's another really useful tool here on Splat Zone. We have a bit of a sword fight going down with 3 players down on the side of Time to Win. RIT Krabby Red Academy looking to take the lead here. Getting into a fight on the right side. The Slosher was just waiting for there. That's Cat, who does get traded out, and that means that RIT are able to take the lead, at least for now.
Yeah, that pencil pick from Blaker putting on a lot of long-range pressure and a lot of difficulty, a lot of chip damage, but getting taken out by the zip on the top of the screen. Madison here is stuck as the T-Cat is going to go down as well, and now Time to Win finally kind of finding their moment here to start the lockout as they have control of the enemy flag. Going to put a lot of pressure out this Splash, going to try to get strikes ready for the retake as Krabby Red Academy is going to be looking to drop in here very soon. There they come with all of their specials in tow. The Blaster running through the strikes and putting the bubbler on the zone to hold things off. They're going to get strikes thrown on their bubbler though to hold them off a bit. Time to Win holding the pressure on still. The Pencil backed up quite a ways, but Decap's going to go down. That jump getting camped by the Blaster, but they're alone, and that's going to still hold the zone. Krabby Red Academy not managing to flip it just yet, and another going down, 2 down. They're starting to run out of time here.
Yeah, that timer is getting closer and closer to 0, but now they are able to get those players in, at least able to neutralize it. Blake, with that Pencil, can put down a lot of paint on the zone if that is what they focus on, but with 3 players on Time to Win, all there putting pressure on the zone, trying to put paint on it as well. RIT just need a little bit more in order to flip it their way and to give Time to Win some penalty points on their board, but they don't manage to do it. The strikes don't quite neutralize the zone either, and those 2 players coming in for the flank allow Time to Win to get that 3-player advantage there and are very close to, in fact, knocking this game out. They only have a few ticks left, and Time to Win make it a 3-game sweep.
Yeah, we saw a long stalemate at the middle there as Krabby Red Academy worked their way back into mid. Both teams fighting over the zone, keeping it in neutral for a long time until that moment where finally somebody moved in and managed to grab the pick that they needed. One member of Krabby Red Academy dying on the zone and painting it Time to Win's color, which gave them the go-ahead to move in here. We see at the end here, this key pick here on the decap in the zone, getting Time to Win their opportunity. The Blaster dying on the zone, painting it their color, flipping it, the members running through the strikes, and then this 2-pronged assault as Time to Win pinches from both sides, making it impossible to fend off those attackers, and from there it was smooth sailing as they take this set 3-0. I believe Time to Win is a bit of a favorite for gold bracket in this tournament, one of the higher seeds, so not necessarily actually, no. A relatively up-and-coming team, but right now they are 2-0 in their group, so it's going to come down to their last set against their top team in their group if they can make their way into gold bracket this time. So good luck to them, and good luck to Krabby Academy on their run as well. They'll see if they can make it into bronze bracket in their next set. We've still got one more for rounds for a round robin here, so don't go away if you want to see some more intense matches. We'll see you in just a second. Welcome back. This is Nate the Great with my friend Jordan Squidoku, and we are getting ready for the last round of the group stage for From the Ink Up 63. We've got a special match for you. We have the Six Pack Yokes versus Soul Blaze today, and Six Pack Yokes, team near and dear to both of our hearts. We love these people. They're so sweet and so fun to hang out with. And a pretty well-known team as they've been around for quite a bit in the scene against Soul Blaze, which might be a bit of an up-and-coming member of the low-level scene. We are excited to see what these teams will kind of offer for us as we get into this last round of the group stage here. Both teams at the moment um, are 0-2 in their group, so this is a battle for a shot at bronze bracket between these two teams. So the team that wins this set will get to move on to bracket. The other team will be done for the day for the tournament. So if you are these teams, this is a key set for you. And they're both going to want to take home the win here, Jordan.
Yeah, for these two teams, we are in win or go home territory because they are playing for a spot in the third and lowest bracket. Starting out here with tower control on Shipshape Cargo Company. This is a quintessential tower map, I would say, of modern Splatoon 3. It is it has the feature of having such an important first checkpoint and only having 2 checkpoints. There aren't a lot of tower maps anymore that have just 2 checkpoints, and getting through the first one is huge, not just because it scores a whole lot of points in and of itself to have the tower on that checkpoint all that time, but because once the tower is through, it so quickly makes its journey to the second checkpoint, which by the time you get there, you're down to just about 30 points remaining.
Yeah, that first checkpoint very key to making it through and starting to get a real push going. But like you said, after that, it can start to snowball quite a bit. If the teams manage to get to the second check, that tends to be the more difficult one to crack. But if you make it through, you're probably in KO territory in just a few seconds. So very, very important is defense on this map. Being willing to rotate and give up the first checkpoint to offer a strong defense of the second one is sometimes the right way to go. Even if it feels like, oh, I'm giving up more points, if it means you don't get KO'd, it's the right decision. So we'll see what both teams are able to kind of pull off here. Getting into this next one, I'm looking at some of the members of Soul Blaze, and I'm very curious to see what kinds of comps we'll see come out from them. It seems like we have a few members who have a couple variety of weapons. We see Jorp mostly with those splatlings. We see Melon kind of with the chargers or the backline. We see a few members, I think Cyanide here, who tends to run weapons that have Whale as a special. So interested to see what choices they will make here, getting ready for this last kind of round of this particular part of the tournament. Again, if you're not familiar with how this tournament format works, we're getting towards the end of the group stage where teams are in a round robin format facing off of each team in their group. And then depending on how they perform, they will move on to a bracket, either gold bracket for the team that wins all of their matches, silver for the team that wins 2, and bronze for whoever wins 1. And bronze bracket is what these teams are fighting for now. So as we get into this game, we're going to see who can come out on top and try to secure that first win for the set and maybe give themselves a little bit of momentum getting into the game here as we get a bit of a Splatoon 3 moment with the Wi-Fi, and there's the comm error, and we're going to have a little bit more time before we can really get this match going, Jordan. So
Yeah,
this is where the time of the show where we have a brief moment to discuss the question on everyone's minds, which is what team are you picking for the Splatfest?
oh yeah, that is a great question. That I believe announcement dropped pretty late at night for the North American crowd that are probably going to be the bulk of those watching here. We've got the immortal question of I don't remember the exact wording of it. Was it
I believe
what
it was in a fantasy world, which would you be?
Okay. Yeah, in a fantasy world, which would you be? A wizard, a knight, or a ninja? And I'm pretty sure going into this that you and I both have settled on the same choice here. So it's not like you and I are going to have much of a debate personally.
True, but you know, thinking about the reasons for it, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard a couple of different perspectives from people. Some people being like, "Well, this is what I play in games," or "This is what kind of matches my vibe the best." But my question is, if you're going into a fantasy world, why aren't you picking the one that can use magic? That's my question. Because if I have a chance to use magic, I'm gonna choose the thing with magic. You know, I don't want to be magic-less, right? Like that's kind of my perspective here. Why, if I have a chance to cast spells and stuff, why am I not taking it? You know, it's like, okay, I want to use a sword. I could use that regardless, but like I can't use magic in either of those, so you know, that's
Oh
my
yeah,
perspective here.
yeah. I'm fully on board with that. Personally, I think that there was a little bit of a suggestion of it when we saw the idols, when we saw Deep Cut talking about it amongst themselves, because Shiver was absolutely going with the whole strategic min-maxing gameplay, at least in I believe it was Bunkers and Krakens they called it. But personally,
Everyone's favorite tabletop game.
oh yes, everyone's favorite. And personally, I do think it's the kind that involves a bit less of physical engagement, being able to keep yourself the out of the direct hand-to-hand combat a little bit more, or hand-to-hand, or I guess melee range, one might say, combat that a knight and maybe a ninja too would also be getting into. And it's interesting to have ninjas as the third option, because that's a little bit of a little bit of a different entire category, I would say, that they have to pull from to have three teams in this Splatfest.
True, it's definitely it kind of is still in the mythology kind of line of things for sure. I have somebody whispering in my ear that knights include paladins, which have magic, and what I would say is uh, a knight and a paladin are definitely two different fantasy tropes, and there's no overlap whatsoever. And it that has nothing to do with me defending my choice at all. It's just hard objective fact that wizards have magic, and I want the magic. And like you said, I don't want to fight people, right? Like I don't want to get in a fist fight with people. I like my face
Yeah,
and my body, so I'd rather just fireball somebody from across the map and run away. That's my perspective here.
yeah.
So
Fist fight,
but
sword fight. Either way, we're going to be getting into an ink fight here between these two teams as they duke it out for that spot in bronze bracket. Looks like it's taking a little bit of extra time, but here we see that double, no, not a double tactical, or just the single tactical, as that is the heavy edit nouveau with the crab tank. Interesting choice for Soulblaze here, bringing the backline charger as well as the custom wellspring.
I'm most interested in the zap stick, because looking at Soulblaze's comp, I don't see a whole lot of weapons that necessarily want cooler. We have the Wellspring, we have the ZNF, and we have the Roller, all of which don't necessarily benefit a whole lot from cooler, and the zap going down a little bit early. Not sure how that pick is going to work out into their strategy, but maybe we'll see later. That being said, six-pack strategy here, very clear, as the Bubble Rider is on the tower, gonna pop it as soon as it makes sense. They're going to opt to hold it for just a little bit, as there are no members of Soulblaze in position to contest them. Those strikes going to melt through the Roller's bubble, and that cooler coming out for just the zap, I suppose, as the Crab is going to launch out into the open. The bubble's going to come out in front of the tower as the tower moves into it. Very nice placement there. It's going to last a little bit longer that way. And they're already up on the second checkpoint. Gonna look to try to break it as quick as possible. Jorp there offering some resistance, getting two members down, but you see Sam there on the end try, gonna give some jumps for the team and get cooler out. The Roller's gonna go down, and six-pack Yokes looking like they are ready to KO this match.
Yeah, they absolutely do look like it. Vowels holding that space for quite a while, putting down all of that orange paint and able to prevent Soulblaze from moving in until the Yokes have already gotten through the entirety of that second checkpoint. It looks like Soulblaze now are just starting to get a little bit of momentum of their own. They've pushed the tower back somewhat. They have that tactical available for the entire team to use, but the Yokes, having already gotten down to 9 remaining and gotten through all of those two checkpoints, they are going to be in prime position if they're putting together another push later on to breeze on through with the tower. But Soulblaze will not want to let that happen. They are starting to use the power of their own. They've gotten it off the mark. They've scored their first few points, but the Yokes are closing in as players on Soulblaze are going down one by one.
Yeah, this Charger playing extremely aggressive. May get taken out by the Tri-Slosher there, as members of Soulblade got flanked on the right side, but nobody was able to turn for it, and Six-Pack Yokes immediately back into mid with lots of paint control here. Very much in position to keep this push up. Blue is going to come out, everybody's picking it up. This Wellspring going to hold people back for a little bit, but the tower doesn't have to stop anymore, and the bubble is just going to carry it all the way over to the left. Two members down on Soulblade with Wellspring and the Charger not in position to hold that top left area, that key defensive ground. They might get in for free if they're not careful, as Six-Packs is riding the tower all the way through. Nobody's looking at it, and the tower is just going to ride all the way in for the KO.
Yeah, I think Jorp was there, but not quite able to get onto the tower, stuck on the side of it as the Six-Pack Yokes just cruised to the goal and took that knockout in this first game.
Yeah, strong showing for them, as we're seeing some very good special play and some good coordination on the side of Six-Pack Yokes, holding on to their specials for good moments there, right? We saw the bubble was ready for that first checkpoint, but they saw, hey, I don't need to use this bubble. I can save it for a better moment when this is going to give me some more help. And they held on to that advantage for a very long time with a strong opening push and then rode it all the way to victory at the end.
Yeah, that was good special discipline there from both Hype and Kaneko on the edit and on the junior respectively, holding on to their specials and being able to use them to just extend the push a little bit further. And this will be a little bit different as we get into game 2, which will be on Splat Zones on Mahi Mahi Resort.
Yeah, Zones Mahi definitely plays a lot different than Shipshape, but that being said, you know, it's a lot smaller map, a lot more close quarters, and I wonder if we're going to see any changes from, I believe, Soulblaze in their comp on this particular map mode. I wonder if the Strike pick and the Wellstring maybe was kind of a mode pick for tower control, but we'll see if they stick with the same choice. I'm still wondering if they run those weapons. Do we want a cooler necessarily? I feel like we can deal with using the area denial that the other weapons give us to just kind of hold back the members of Six-Pack Yokes, especially on a map like this that really favors having some range, especially for the opening push. A lot of teams opt to wait until the water drops and the map kind of expands in the middle in order to give them a bit more room to work around before making any kind of retake for the second fight of the game. So be interested to see if we have any changes here from either team.
Yeah. Six-Pack Yokes, I think, might be likely to stick with what they've got. Unless they do want to vary it up and maybe throw a curveball at Soulblaze. But Soulblaze, they might also want to stay with what they're comfortable with. I do think that they could make it work if they do choose to stick with that. Although, like you said, that Zap does seem a little bit out of place with the rest of the comp. It's a little bit surprising to see the Wellstring in addition to that Z&F Splat Charger. The Wellstring often functioning as a sort of pseudo backline weapon, but it can put down a lot of paint, and on Mahi Mahi Resort, a lot of paint might be what Soulblaze need.
Not just a lot of paint, but a ton of explosions that spread across a wide area. I could see this pick going very well for them on Mahi in particular, especially in the opening, being able to deny probably the majority of mid, almost creating a wall of explosions across the zone. I could see this going very well for them. That said, though, they're gonna have to make this fight happen at the beginning and see if they can hold off the things. We see Sam here choosing that blob, and we also see the silver arrow spray coming out, maybe for a bit of reef cheese and some crazy paint. We see a lot of painting weapons on the side of Yokes here. Definitely some switches as Soulblaze swapping to a bit more of a junior-friendly comp, as we see the junior with the bubble and the heavy splat lane there for a bit of range. We see all the members kind of starting out just a little bit looking for the first fight here. The bubble's going to come out early, though. One member going down. Three Slider's going to come in and takes out two members of Soul Blaze, and the third going to have to back up as quickly as possible. That Zap going to get taken out, though, and that's going to be a stagger to start out, as Soul Blaze is coming out with just the one with the Splatling here. Going to get directed and taken out by the bucket. Is going to get another one. Going to try to clean up a third. And again, Yokes coming out explosively in this opening push and holding a lot of pressure here, getting a lot of kills. That bomb, very unfortunate placement as it rolled just off the side and gets the pick. But that said, 40 ticks left already. Soulblade is going to need to make a retake of some sort here as quick as possible. Bubble comes out, and that's a good start. But two members going down, and there's the Reef Slider again to keep the zone capped. And maybe another one going down from that Fizzy Bomb. It's just the Junior here left to try to hold things down.
Interesting. Soul Blaze are bringing out that double bubble comp. Two of the weapons with that big bubbler as they have moved onto the Junior, but kept the Splat Roller. But both of those players do go down here for Soul Blaze as the six-pack Yokes are looking to close out this game already. They completely swapped their comp. I think all four of them playing a different weapon than what they played in game one, but they played it to perfection, choosing their maps or choosing their weapons, I would say based totally on the map mode here, and it really worked out for them as they secure their spot in bronze bracket with a 2-0 so far in the set. Still going to play out that third game, but the Yokes are going to be breathing easy here.
Yeah, you know, once you get that second game under your belt, you can definitely, like you said, breathe a lot easier. Maybe kick back and open a six-pack and get a little bit of relaxation going. You still got the one more game, but now it's not quite so tense or, high stakes, as it's just kind of a matter of bringing home the last win, giving yourself a little bit of momentum going into bronze bracket round one. So we're going to play out our last game here of round robin. Again, after this, teams going into a single elimination bracket depending on their record in round robin. So here's six-pack going to move on to bronze bracket, and there's also silver, and then gold will be after this, as we see the top cut, best of the best in this tournament. Getting ready for Rainmaker on Museum. I can see this working very well for six-pack with the style that they've been playing, right? They've usually had a pretty well-balanced comp, lots of paint, lots of mobility. It lends itself pretty well to Rainmaker.
Yeah, I agree, and especially on Museum, where it's not often that you will get a knockout on this map. This is one of the more difficult Rainmaker maps to knock out on, and it takes a lot of work to really move the Rainmaker all the way across the enemy side of the map and through all of that space that is so easily defensible, so easy to look down on from those high sides. But getting it to the checkpoint is going to be the first challenge. A lot of the time in this map mode, you will see both teams able to get at least to the checkpoint, able to put together enough of a push that gets the Rainmaker at least that far. But it is also a map where that tends to take long enough that if you're able to get that far, the other team can defend, and it does lead to a very nice and even fight there for the ability to push the Rainmaker a little bit further.
Yeah, lots of defensive areas. You're basically, after you get past that checkpoint and get into the kind of the final stretch there on that spinner area, it's basically a goalie surrounded by enemy walls and a bunch of high ground that's completely inaccessible for the most part, unless you take some very slow great walks and a bit of a risky jump. It is possible to get up there, but if the enemy team is doing their job, they're going to hold you back from that and use that defensive ground to keep you from scoring much further. Games definitely tend to get decided by a couple of points on this map. It can be pretty close, or come down to one really big push from either side. We'll see if six-pack Yokes can keep it up here and keep the momentum going. Seeing not as many changes this time, but a couple, as we see the Zuka coming out, which I agree with on this map. Zuka goes absolutely crazy. And Soul Blaze also completely swapping the comp around. We have a leader coming out to give them quite a bit of range pressure. We see a Sploosh as well, maybe looking to cause a bit of havoc. We'll see what they can manage here. Six Pack going to lose the pot, but it's not quite as important on this particular map, as the Sploosh is going to go down just a little bit early, and Six Pack Yoke's going to try to get their foothold as they pick up the Rainmaker already and are going to run it towards the checkpoint and get it uncontested as the members of Soul Blaze dropped in the mid a little bit too early and are going to get taken out. This is already looking very good for the Yokes.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but the Soul Blaze, the splatter shot, that was, I believe that is Cartoon's Omni shot running 3 mains of Ink Savers, or rather Special Saver, trying to really hold onto those Trizukas, and Cyanide on the Sploosh running Open Gambit. I wanted to point that out at the start, but then for the entire first 30 seconds of the game, not a single player on Six Pack Yokes went down. So that opening gambit has run out for Cyanide, but they have that hammer, that Ultra Stamp ready to go if the Yokes do try to pick up that Rainmaker here. They're sharking, they're waiting for that opportunity, and the Rainmaker does get picked up, immediately taken out by that hammer. That shark absolutely paid off for Cyanide.
Yeah, we're seeing that, that high ground defense coming into play here, right? Very stally once you get past the checkpoint. And Soul Blaze actually pulling off a very strong defense there, biding their time and holding it until they had a good opportunity to use those specials. Now it's their chance for some offense. Maybe the first of these been able to see from them in this set. They managed to get 2 down already. Rainmaker trying to back up away from that fight on the right side, but their friends are there. They get the pick on the edit, and that's going to give them a chance to get the checkpoint here as the machine doesn't quite get the pick, gets taken out as well. 2 down for the Six Packs as they're maybe going to be on their back foot here. They're going to try to make a run for the lead here. They do manage to take it and take it out now. Six Pack Yokes for the first time in this set going to have to make a retake and a push for the lead.
Yeah, this is working out for Soul Blaze, in fact. Having that Tacticooler in just the right position for Cyanide to pick it up, and having the Sploosh as the Rainmaker carrier, I think is a really good call because the kinds of mobility that you would want to have as a Sploosh-O-Matic are very similar to the kinds that would really benefit you while carrying the Rainmaker, and that does seem to be a pretty good matchup that they have, especially if that is their plan. If you have a specific player ready to carry the Rainmaker, you don't have to lose time trying to decide who should go into what position. Cyanide can just pick up the Rainmaker and go, and that has brought them down to 25 points remaining here with about 2 minutes left to play.
That said, I think this is Vowels on the machine is going absolutely crazy, getting picks left and right and keeping themselves up with this Booyah Bomb. The leader goes down, and that might give them the thing they need. A little bit of a cheeky grab here by Konechka to pick up the Rainmaker and run it a bit. Turns everybody on Soul Blaze around, and that's going to make things very difficult. The Sploosh here, though, doing Sploosh things, getting the hammer out and taking out Hype, but getting taken out as Vowels there is ready. Oh, it was Vowels on... Indeed, on that machine, getting another pick yet again, going on a bit of a streak here, looking for another, gets it. They're going to be paving the way for the team, probably going to stop the Rainmaker as well, and we're seeing, while Soul Blaze put up a good defense and a good push, Vowels here leading the Yokes into a potential lead swap situation. Still, though, that Sploosh by Cyanide showing up for them, giving their team lots and lots of value here with these hammers and these sharks, getting a pick on Konechka here, and again, kind of killing the momentum for the Yokes.
Yeah, really good work there from both teams, honestly, trying for Six Pack Yokes to get those numbers advantage that they're really looking for. But Soul Blaze, I think it feels at least like they've had that Tacticooler buff on them more often than not, and that's really good cooler play from that N-Zap on their team. I believe that is Jorp on the Zap, who has been doing a great job of providing the soda for the rest of Soul Blaze, and that really has kept them in contention, even as they go 3 down like they are right now. If they have the Tacticooler ready, though I'm not sure they do, they will be ready to get into position to defend here. Vowels does go down, and there they are. There's Jorp getting at that pick right in front of the Rainmaker with only 20 seconds less than that to go. This could be the chance for Soul Blaze to hold on and make this a 2-1 set.
Yeah, and one more going down on the side of Yokes. 2 down here as the Zap is going and getting those picks. We see Konega here trying to make a play for the Rainmaker if they can, but the Hammer's going to come out and shut that down as Soulblaze is going to hold off that 3-0 and keep themselves in, not going home without a win today. They will at least have that one notch in their belt for today to go home with, as Yokes will move on to bronze bracket, but not quite with the 3-0 that maybe they hoped for. Soulblaze getting to go home with a nice feeling in their hearts for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Really exciting stuff that we saw. Both teams making those concerted plays, those teamwork coordinated plays there, able to even to let some individual moments shine from players on each of those two teams. But in the end, it did end up with Soulblaze able to make it a little bit further with the Rainmaker, and that ended up with them taking at least one win before the group stage was over.
Yeah, congrats to both teams. Congrats to Six Pack Yokes for putting on a nice show for us and for moving on to bronze bracket. We will be seeing lots and lots more games here coming up as we get into the main event of this particular tournament, gold bracket, as the best of the best are going to fight against each other in single elimination for a chance to win from the Ink Up and get that coveted ban. So Jordan and I still got one more set in us before we leave you, so stick around for Gold Bracket, and we'll be returning in just a little bit. Welcome back to FTIU 63. I'm your host, Nate the Great of the Whip Rays, joined here by Jordan Squidoku, my splesty bestie. And we're getting ready for the main event. This is Gold Bracket for FTIU. We're very excited to bring to you these two teams as we get into the best of this tournament. Jordan, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty great. We will be seeing these teams go at it in Gold Bracket for the coveted FTIU winner rewards. That sweet, sweet Sendu badge, the roles in the Under Pressure Discord server, and of course the prestige of being banned from FTIU. As Nate said, I am Squidoku. I am the owner of one of those FTIU winner roles, having taken first place in from the Ink Up number 49 back in the day. But here we will be seeing Killer Blues and Malevolent Cooler going at it, starting off on Scorched Gorge in the single elimination gold bracket.
Yeah, now this is a map mode that we've seen once in groups already, and in this, we definitely saw that having a little bit of range pressure and having some sustained presence can be really important to keeping that momentum in a mode as fast-paced as Rainmaker. As we get into game one of Gold Bracket already, this is a best-of-3 set. First team to 2 wins gets to move on, and if you don't, you're out for the rest of the day. So as we get into this, we're seeing Killer Blues in the kind of lime yellow ink and Malevolent Cooler in the purple as we're getting started. Members of Killer Blues going to win the pop early, get a bit of turf control and some special charge. We're seeing this zap charging Cooler, going to throw it out for their teammates. One going down already on Killer Blues. That's going to be 2, giving the green light for Malevolent Cooler to try to make a push of their own. That tri-stringer pick, though, giving a bit of trouble as it's denying them a space. That Toxic Mist holding them back from the balloon, and the Whale is going to help clear that out as they manage to get a quick stop on the Rainmaker, and again stopping it before that checkpoint can get through. This crab going to run over the blaster, and Malevolent Cooler going to go down a little bit early there, giving Killer Blues a chance to maybe make a bit of a counter push here.
Yeah, they really tried to force the Rainmaker, but it wasn't going to work there with all of those tools at their disposal. Killer Blues managed to just prevent that Rainmaker from getting onto the checkpoint. Not able to get it there themselves, though, as they in turn go 3 down, and their push ends a little bit earlier at the 81-point remaining mark, and now Malevolent Cooler are holding onto that Rainmaker that is a little bit less paint than they would otherwise be getting, but since they do still have that Wellstring up, they are going to be able to put some paint down at least. They are still 4 players up on the side of Killer Blues. There's that Zipcaster coming out, but it wasn't enough, going right past the Rainmaker and not able to get the Rainmaker, but that's 3 down. 2 splats and an assist, I believe, from that Whale, and now it is the Tri-Stringer who is holding onto the Rainmaker on the side of Killer Blues. Only able to get a trade, though, as Malevolent Cooler, as the wiper on that team, I believe that is Tofu, does go, or sorry, Toki, excuse me. Toki does get that trade.
And we see the pace of play has already increased quite a bit from our group round here. Teams are now a lot more comfortable moving up with. They're going to recognize those advantages much faster, press their advantage much more efficiently, and we see using the sides of the map to their advantage here as that hammer is going to get taken out, but gets one with it, and that's a wipeout for Malevolent Cooler. Going to push up here very quickly. This splashdown here, watch out, don't let it get you. Don't drop in too quickly as that splashdown comes out and doesn't quite get one, but that's going to give Malevolent Cooler a big push, getting all the way down to 37, which is strong, and another one down. That Rainmaker isn't stopped. It's going to try to get into the goal. Gets taken out by the Splatana just in time, but that push all the way down to 2. If you are Killer Blues, you're going to have to almost KO if you want a shot at taking game 1 here.
Wow, yeah, being able to put so much damage onto the Rainmaker shield and just a lightning fast continuation there of that push, getting it all the way down to the 2-point remaining mark. Killer Blues now have a lot further to go still if they want to make the comeback here. The Rainmaker does get popped, but that Stamper is just out of position, just in the right position, I should say, to survive it. And Malevolent Cooler still getting another push going. They want to play aggressively here. They have weapons that can move in quick. They have that Tacticooler giving them that speed boost. and they have the numbers advantage now, even as the Rainmaker is not in their possession. They are going to want to pick it up. They're going to want to push it themselves. They've already picked it up once again, and so they have that advantage of having control here. Though Killer Blues are getting set up, they are having their specials ready, and they are able to stop the Rainmaker once again. And this time, Killer Blues will want to at least try and make it to that first checkpoint.
That's true, but if you're Killer Blues, you can't just get ready, you also have to execute, and we're seeing that Malevolent Cooler is doing a really good job of stalling them out a little bit. That Wellstream pick paying off dividends for them right now, as they have a ton of AoE in a lot of ways to lock out Killer Blues here. That Blaster also getting a couple of picks, but the the Splash manages to get it. Sorry, that's the Dualies as they get two, and they also have Crab Ready. If this last hit goes through, that's going to give them a huge advantage. Even though the Rainmaker goes down, they are now getting set for a big push of their own, as the Dualie is going on a killing spree, gets the Crab out as well, and the Whale. That's going to give them some space if Killer Blues can manage to capitalize on this opportunity. They need to get through the checkpoint and then quite a bit more, and they're starting to run out of time. There's only a little bit of time left, and we're seeing Malevolent Cooler stepping on the gas, making sure to keep the pressure on as 3 more go down on Killer Blues. That push wasn't able to quite get through. Only 10 seconds left, and now Malevolent Cooler is going to pick up the Rainmaker and hold it all the way in their spawn. Even though the Tri-Slosher was there, it gets taken out. They're going to back it up all the way to the goal. Make sure it is well out of the hands of Killer Blues. And that's going to be it for Game 1, as Malevolent Cooler is going to pull out a strong appearance here in Game 1 to take that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Preventing Killer Blues from scoring really any significant amount. They didn't get to that first checkpoint, and they weren't able to prevent Malevolent Cooler from almost getting all the way to that knockout, which is pretty hard to do here on Scourge, especially as it ends with such a narrow, confined path to the goal there. But Malevolent Cooler off to a very strong start, and they will want to keep that momentum going for them as we move into Game 2. This has gone from play all 3 to the best of 3, so if you go down 0-2, that's it. Your tournament is done.
Yeah, we saw Toki on that Wiper making great use of the sides of the map and going for those flanks, which we've seen already in this tournament, Wipers taking the flanks. And now especially, that really paid off for them as they were able to pull a lot of attention, made it difficult for Killer Blues to kind of gather together and get the right kind of timing to move in with, right? We saw the specials were there, the opportunities were there, but the team wasn't quite able to find the moment where they could all take advantage of it. So some really good play by Malevolent Cooler, good individual plays to take strong individual positions and use that as a team to eventually get the chance they needed to score. So we get into Game 2 here. Barnacle Clams, one of, in my opinion, one of the more balanced Clams maps. It's not too hard to get in and get those scores, but it's not too hard to defend from either. So either team has some good opportunities here. I wonder if we'll see many changes on the comp side of things. I think both comps serve Rainmaker and Clams here quite well.
Yeah, I agree. Both of these comps would do pretty well, and having a bit of an aggressive forward, high-speed pushing comp might not be ideal here, but it might just work exactly as Malevolent Cooler really want. Of course, they are in fact switching off of that. They are putting a player onto the Hydra Splatling. That is Booga, who is playing that very much long range, able to play the anchor and punish anyone coming close weapon, whereas Killer Blues also have that Dynamo Roller of their own.
And more than that, we saw Malevolent Cooler running triple Object Shredder. 3 members running Object Shredder, maybe as an answer to that Crab or to the Zipcaster, not quite sure. Maybe they were expecting some bubble play, but 3 Object Shredders, not going to give them stealth jump in order to jump in for free, but with that Hydra there might give them the stability they need. Hydra's posted up there, gets rid of the Dynamo. We know Dynamo versus Hydra is not a great matchup for the Dynamo at all, so this Hydra eating well today for the moment. Toki on that Wiper is going to get 2 with the hammer in mid. Going to give Malevolent Cooler a big chance to try to move up here as they're gathering clams and getting a presence set up in mid here. Gonna try to look to set up as soon as possible. Hydra's gonna have to hang back just a little bit to make sure they don't go down. Give those safe jumps for their teammate. Getting flanked on the right though with that dually is gonna run in and Jake that pick, and that's gonna hold off that push for a moment as the last member of Cooler is gonna have to jump back, and we're back into neutral here.
Yeah, but Killer Blues do have the clam economy in their favor. They are holding onto more clams than Malevolent Cooler, and I think that was really what went wrong for Malevolent Cooler on their last push. Because they didn't have the clams, they had to really be concerned with actually picking some up, and that slowed them down. But what was that? That was a suction bomb wipeout, it seems.
Don't group up too hard or else it'll get you punished real good. All the members of Killer Blues dropping in very aggressively. Members of Malevolent Cooler had to get those clams, like you said, and weren't able to follow up on that wipeout too well. Maybe a little too eager and not willing to kind of take their time. You don't have to score right away just because you got a wipeout. You can use the time to set up your push and make sure that score is really, really strong. We're seeing Killer Blues now able to counter very quickly because they have all the paint and all the space in mid. They have a chance to try to make something happen here. Dynamo's going down, but gets Cooler out in time to maybe give them a quick way back in. But that Hydra with the charge, gonna just push in uncontested because of all of that range and that killing power. Gonna top the Booyah. The object shredder, that crab may not live long, but it manages to get the pick on the Hydra early before it can do anything about it. And we're seeing Killer Blues here with, again, very strong neutral game. As this duel getting 2, again 3, trying to get the quad, can't quite get it, but that's gonna give them a big chance here with all the clams they have. The brush is just gonna run past and get that pick there. The hammer, they're going to try to hold things off, but with this Zipcaster out, it may not be enough, but that's 3 down. This Zipcaster is going to opt to try to run it out and get themselves back into that recall. Can't quite get the clams there, and we saw not enough for Killer Blues to take the lead.
Yeah, both of these teams only able to just get a single power clam in their push, not setting up really in the way that they need to. I do think that Malevolent Cooler they do have the resources and the kinds of weapons that would benefit from setting up into a strong position if they're able to make that space between mid and the basket of Killer Blues. Whereas Killer Blues are going with a team that is still a little bit more intent on diving, and if Killer Blues are able to get in and score, that will really help them. But Malevolent Cooler, I think they might just be a bit too hesitant to go in and set up. However, this time, the clam economy, now that it has gone in their favor, it does allow them to get another power clam in, and they have 2 more ready to go if they can get there.
Yeah, but like we said, there's just not quite enough follow-up ready as the members are going to have to back up here. This Hydra desperately trying to save the clams and get back into a safe position. Not enough stability, or maybe just not quite the right communication needed. Maybe Toki, they're looking for jumps for the power clams, but they just weren't able to get those in. Still though, Malevolent Cooler set up quite well here with lots of clams and lots of space. Cooler as well, lots of special ready to go. They need to try to make an execution here if they want to lengthen this lead. The Viper's going to try to run past, but maybe a little bit too quickly. Dynamo though is the last one up, gonna have to try to run out. Gonna try to trade, but isn't, and there's the score that Malevolent Cooler's been looking for to try to seal this set and seal the deal. They're not quite going to get the KO, and that's going to be a counter wipe, but only 30 seconds for Killer Blues here to try to mount a comeback. They're going to have to score well over 4 power clams in order to try to get this. So they're going to have to get set up as quickly as they can, get as much paint down and as much special ready for this push as possible, and don't go down in the process because you don't have much time left. Booyah comes out and gets the zap. That's a good start. Gets the blaster as well. Cooler's out. Only one going down, but that's going to be a good way to start this. They have lots of time. There's a good 20 seconds of overtime. Brush is going to rush in though and try to get this score. You don't have the clams to be able to make it, but the Brush gets 3 as the Hydra is the last one up. They managed to score this. They're going to try to hold it off. There's another one going down. They only need a couple more clams to try to get the lead here in overtime. Here come the clams and the members. There it goes, and that's going to be the lead as Killer Blues managed to get the behind overtime, come from behind win to even up the set 1-1.
Absolutely electric there. Killer Blues holding on through Malevolent Cooler just not quite being able to get it done. It took Malevolent Cooler a while to really find their footing there. They got multiple wipes, but they were struggling with the clam economy until late. But by the time they had finished making that really strong push to 20 remaining, I think they might have just let off the gas a little bit too much. They let that brush of they let that brush slip through. And there they are, saying this way, letting the team come in, holding that space, and allowing the teammates to score those 3 power clams that they had made. We saw them juggling those clams in mid, and they even while they were doing that, they managed to win that all-important fight towards the end and get all of those clams into the basket.
Yeah, that brush pick coming in clutch for them, and that last that last push, getting them that win that they need. So now it's match point for both of these teams. This is do or die. You have to win this game if you want to move on in the bracket. Otherwise, you're going home. So as we get into Robo Ramen, I would be pretty surprised to not see the Hydra on this map in particular. Again, my team tends to run Hydra quite frequently, and this is their haven here. Robo Ramen is the Hydra map of all time. So if you're going to run Hydra on Barnacle of all places, you might as well run it here too. And for zones especially, it can be really, really strong compared to Clan Blitz, where you have the ability and the want even to set up and just create a wall. You don't need as much forward momentum or flexibility like in Clam. So I'm very interested to see what these teams have in mind. Can be a pretty stalling map. It can be difficult to set up a lockout and difficult to break in. So it's going to come down to who can manage it and who's going to come together to get those retakes going or hold that defense. Going to take a little bit of patience.
Yeah, definitely. And the having the kinds of weapons like with Chai on that brush, they might be able to keep that kind of sneaking around and getting between the enemy players that they wanted before. Yeah, there is that Hydra Splatling coming out again. It looks like pretty consistent team compositions from the last game to this one here as we get into this tiebreaker game, game 3.
Yeah, maybe surprised to see the Dynamo stay here with that Hydra in mind, but, Dynamo's no slouch on this map either, and might just be a comfort pick. Blaster's going to get rid of the brush here very quickly. 2 going down on Killer Blues, 3 as well, and that's going to leave Spectro on that sword. Going to have to back up all the way and make sure they don't go down too early. They keep that Zipcaster, and the Dooley's already as crap. The Blaster running in very quickly, hoping to maybe trade with the splashdown, but can't quite get it out. That said, Hydra here goes down a little bit too early, and that's going to give Killer Blues a chance to retake the zone. It's just Toki here on the bottom left side, staying alive, drawing Nox down into the pit, gives them a chance, but that's going to still hold this off. This Booyah coming out maybe a little bit early, going to try to walk people in. The Hammer coming out, though, that's a huge play, as that Booyah enabled that Hammer to walk in and just clean up the members of Killer Blues. That's going to be a quick retake from Malevolent Cooler.
Yeah, and with Chai there on that brush, down on the side, able to use that Killer Whale to at least put some pressure, gets the assist, and gets up to the zone, trying to put some paint on it, and that allows Killer Blues to take control. This is still a very close game. Chai diving in there with some help from the teammates. It looks like at least 3 of them, all 4 of them there, getting into that choke point, bringing out the specials. The Cooler's ready, the Zipcaster's ready, but the specials are coming back in turn from Malevolent Cooler. That's not enough to stop the zone, though. Even the triple splashdown and the Booyah Bomb, the Hammer gets canceled right away by Chai's Ink Brush. Very good picks, very good opportunistic positioning there, and now bringing out that Killer Whale. Chai does go down to Booga, who is bringing out that Booyah Bomb, and Malevolent Cooler, they are bleeding points now. The zone has been going down for Killer Blues. Finally, they're able to take control and neutralize it here, but this is absolutely anyone's game still at this point.
Look out, Crab. That's a big splashdown coming down on your head, and that's going to be a double and a wipeout as Killer Blues manages to take that zone back and get the wipeout from Malevolent Cooler, who may be getting a little antsy here, not, getting into a bit of a stagger at times and not getting quite the sustained momentum that we saw earlier. Getting some key picks, though, to break themselves back in. But again, 3 down, it's just the Hydra left, and the Hydra's not going to be able to move in by itself. It needs its team in front of it and goes down early. That's a huge stagger. Only 30 ticks left, and Malevolent Cooler is only going to get probably 1 shot to take this zone back and hold off the Blues.
Yeah, they have no specials at the moment. The Hammer's ready, but it goes down immediately. They have that triple splashdown ready to go, but they have to come in straight from the front. They barely have time to make a flank. They have that splashdown. It doesn't get much done, but finally the Booyah Bomb is just enough to at least neutralize the zone and give Killer Blues more penalty time.
Yeah, Malevolent Cooler holding off death there as they're able to just barely cap that zone. This Zipcaster gonna get camped, probably gonna go down in just a moment as all of them there, but there's the Zip and it gets 2 on its recall. That's gonna be 3 down. Killer Blue Spectro here getting that sick double on those. Don't count any sword out too early. If they're looking at you, that's gonna be it, and they're gonna take that zone batch from nowhere as that Booyah is going to come out, try to get some people down and try to cap the zone. But again, we're seeing Malevolent Cooler just keeping the gas on constantly, maybe a little too much, maybe getting overextended. They do manage to take the zone, but they need more than that. They need to hold onto it long enough to get things going. And with Killer Blues being coolered up all the time, they're not going to be down for very long. They're going to come right back in. Even though the points are ticking down, they have their specials and their setup and the key pick on the blaster. They're going to walk right back in.
Yeah, I think that was the second time we saw Spectro getting that Zipcaster and the camera angle just positioned right so that it was coming in from directly behind the camera. There's another wipeout that Killer Blues have gotten onto Malevolent Cooler with them still in control of the zone. Less than a minute remaining now, and the timer is going down. Killer Blues working through that penalty time. They have a really good position set up here. Dynamo able to hold a lot of space, although the Wiper is getting in and does get Nox, who is just over the edge. That's another pick for Toki, and a third. That's a huge possibility. 3 ticks left, and the zone does flip. 30 seconds left of game time, but the players on Killer Blues are coming back. That tactical is doing a ton of work for them. Nox does dive in and go down, though. This could be a chance for Malevolent Cooler to make the comeback here.
This is the chance. They only have this one as there's only 10 seconds left. That was a huge triple by Toki to enable this chance. Time's going to tick down really quickly, but 2 members go down already. It's just the Hydra. They have to hold this off, and they're not going to be able to. Killer Blues going to cap the zone and take the set in an electric last game as they're going to come back from that first game getting shut down, and they're going to bring it back in order to win this and move on to round 2 of Gold Bracket. What a first set for Gold Bracket today.
Yeah, that had to be testing Killer Blues' nerves, just holding on, getting the disadvantage of that state, having to come back to the zone, but managing to make it work, not playing too over aggressively, not playing too recklessly, and there they are with less than 20 seconds left, going 3 down like that with no specials ready. They come back, they manage to put the pressure on, they play the way they know how to play, and the picks come their way. They get 2 down, they come in from all sides, and they manage to put in a coordinated effort to retake the zone just as time expires.
Yeah, excellent plays there by Killer Blues and from Malevolent Cooler. We saw some really nice stuff there from both teams. Congrats to Killer Blues moving on to the next round. And GG's go next for Malevolent Cooler. They put on a great show, and I would be very excited to see them again maybe next time. That being said, that's it for the 2 of us, Jordan and I, for you today. We do still have some more tournament coming your way. Don't go away. There's still more Gold Bracket. We got all the way into finals before we're done. But for us, you will see us later. Jordan, where can we find you when you're not on the mic?
Yeah, you can find me. I am on Blue Sky, where I am squidoku.bsky.social. I'm also still on Twitter. I have an account there at squidoku_. And I've been recently trying to be a little bit more active on the Fediverse, where I am on splatsville.social at squidoku. How about you, Nate?
That's right. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, all your places. You'll find me and the Whip Race tearing it up in low ink tomorrow. So tune into the stream, drop a follow if you want to check us out, and we will see you guys around. Thanks again for watching. Stick around for more Gold Bracket, but that's all from us. We will see you later.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to From the Ink Up number 63. My name is Rocket here, joined by the one and only Topic. How are you doing today, Topic?
You know what? I'm doing good. We got some Mario Party later today. I'm excited to lose my mind to that. But before that, we have to watch these teams get prepared as we're gonna hop into our quarterfinals as we have Daybreak versus Tetris Effect, one of the Tetris games of all time.
One of the Tetris games of all time, indeed. And this is a really interesting matchup considering seeding in general, because these are our two of our lowest seeded teams, the only other low seed being Killer Blues, who are seed 34. But this is the seed 32 in Daybreak versus the seed 40 in Tetris Effect. So maybe we could see the beginning of a little bit of a Cinderella run here between these two teams. Just taking a look at how they've done so far in this tournament, Daybreak has won all 4 of their sets, dropping only 1 map in their group matchup in round 2, looking over on the other side. And Tetris Effect losing 2 rounds, but still, both teams have gone undefeated in terms of sets.
Well, one of them is gonna have to fall fall today as we're gonna hop into our first map mode, Zones Mahi. And whenever I think of Zones Mahi, I think of the water level falling, because that's kind of the gimmick, right? You get to like 50, the water level drops, and the map just kind of opens up, and it allows for like a lot of short range weapons to kind of strive and kind of succeed, especially after, like 50 points.
Yeah, 100%. It basically just allows for a bit of changing of pace. Not only that, but maybe also an opportunity for maybe the attacking team to really take over and flip the zone in such a sense that it just allows for more space in order to work with some maybe flanky weapons, some sharking opportunities, and just in general being able to farm specials at a much quicker pace as well, and just having them pop all at once. Again, kind of like just being able to flip the switch and being able to flip the zone potentially.
Yeah, and I just have a question for you. I feel like, for me personally, this map is kind of lockout heavy, right? Like, a lot of times you'll see a team like get locked out and it's really, really hard to get out. Do you agree with that, or am I just crazy?
Yeah, I can see that as it's just the way that the map is built. It is really, really hard for if you are forced to try to take back the zone, you have to basically move down elevation and really just kind of leave yourself in a little bit of a vulnerable opportunity, especially if you don't have any specials to really get yourself in. I can see how it can be very lockout heavy, but enough of that. Let's see what these two teams are bringing. We're seeing an arrow spray already. That is a unconventional comp right there. Look at that, a splat roller arrow spray, H3 and ballpoint. Look at that Topic.
L3, okay, I'm a fan of L3. I like L3, I think it's very underrated. Arrow Spray, I can understand where they're coming from. It's a very, very paint-heavy weapon. You just kind of sit there, hold ZR, win game. And you know what? That's the name of Splat Zones. Now, inside of Tetris Effect, a Sorella tent, so a bit of a way more defensive option, kind of force their way in. But so far, just a lot of fighting in mid. Tetris Effect will take control of zone and take a quick lead, though. Daybreak is there fighting, but so far, Tetris Effect is going to take the first real hold here.
Yeah, that is a nasty weapon combo that you have there. You have the 10 Umbrella, you have the Blaster, which basically covers the weakness of the Blaster. Just basically give it a shield. A nice Zuka shot there, as both teams do lose 2 players, but Tetris Effect still in the lead by a significant amount, and there's the 60-point drop-off. Now, the entirety of the map and its space will be opened up as the ballpoint manages to get a nice pick there, but Daybreak has yet to really put in some serious fight or contention onto the map yet, as Tetris Effect has been able to counter them super well. Look at that. But now Tetris Effect will lose 2 of its members, so maybe an opportunity may arise for Daybreak to get back into this.
I mean, if you're Tetris Effect, the pencil is putting in a lot of work because it kind of just sits there, presses one button, has a little lemonade in hand, just sits back and lets the rest of the team do a lot of the work. But so far, Daybreak will manage to break through and get at least some points on the board, down to 89, 87 as the clock's going to go. And Daybreak now with the opportunity here to at least impose some of their will, but they gotta be worried because now, since the whole map is open, the dualies for Tetris Effect can kind of roam around a lot more. They have a lot more spaces, and so far, Tetris Effect, never mind. Roller is roller.
Yeah, Roller is Roller managing to get that nice shark, however, will be left alone as the other members of Tetris Effects will win their fights, and just like that, Tetris Effects already back into the driver's seat. Obviously, a large penalty is placed on them, but cutting through that penalty is really quick there. We do see the unfortunate falling of one of the members of Tetris Effect, and now the re-slider going out for Daybreak to flip the zone, managing to actually find one in that break too. This is what that Aerospray is good at, just being able to paint, farming those reef sliders and getting some reef cheese onto the zone, and just being that pure inking weapon that you would like on a comp such as this one.
You know, I love me some reef cheese. And actually, we forgot to mention this Daybreak. Nice shark there by the roller, trying to go for the second one. Just not able to, but the bubble does manage to extend the life a little bit longer. But for Daybreak, they are not running a cooler weapon, so they're going to have to take these fights a little more cautiously than Tetris Effect, because they don't have that safety blanket of a quick recovery. They have to... If they lose a really bad fight, they're going to have to bear the brunt of trying to force their way in. And so far, Tetris Effect with another lockout here. Daybreak with only one special at the ready, though.
Yeah, they are just waiting for an opportunity to strike, but they can't just wait long, as Nazuka will find the ball point, will find another, and so does the Aerospray will go down as well, and now an opportunity will arise for Tetris Effect to continue to grow their lead. Penalty points were applied, so a little bit of a delay in terms of them getting out of it, but the crab now being popped for Daybreak will get taken out by that bomb there. A very nice bomb placed there just to cancel it out in general, and now we are in potential knockout territory here if Tetris Effect can continue on the pressure that they've been placing on Daybreak.
I mean, Daybreak, they do pop two specials. The Reef Slider is gonna find one. The Jet's gonna come out. They have to watch for the Roller, trying to find their way in. They're not gonna go in as far as Breakfast on the Roller is able to get in the zone, but just a lot of fighting over zone. A lot of paint going down. Daybreak trying to capture it. There's the Reef Slider to really to put a stamp on that rain on the cap there on the zone. But with a minute left to go, both of these teams are still fighting, and this could be anyone's game. But Tetris Effect are not going down without a fight, as that's another 2 down for Daybreak.
Yeah, and with Cooler on the back of Tetris Effects, now can open up another opportunity for him to really pull away from this. A nice pick from the 10 Umbrella, taking out Breakout on that pick, and now just members continuing to continue that pressure. One does go down. The 10 Umbrella really just trying to keep itself alive. A great shield play there to keep themselves alive, and now out of the penalty point, this could be really dangerous for Daybreak. They need to hop onto this soon, and as the zone kicks down to the 5-second mark, 4, there's the Reef Slider right there to flip things, and just like that, they are alive, and they will stay alive as 3 members of Tetris Effect goes down. That is the power of Reef Cheese right there, ladies and gentlemen, and now Daybreak still have an opportunity to stay in this in overtime.
I mean, as an avid Reef Slider user, I would do the exact same thing, but now with your Daybreak, you don't want to get those cheesy opening or cheesy ways in, because just like that, you need to find a way to hold it for yourself. But Tetris Effect just kind of rushes in, 3 down for Daybreak. The ballpoint forced to use the Inkjet, and that will be it. Tetris Effect will take game number 1. And even though Daybreak, they did cap zone, I feel like for most of that game, they didn't really hold on to it, if that makes any sense. Like, they got zone, they lost it within like 5 to 10 seconds, and then Tetris Effect had it, and then they were able to lock out really effectively.
Yeah, I agree with that last comment you meant about how Tetris Effect was able to really lock out, and yeah, that's really was the driving factor to why they won that. They were able to really keep on the pressure through thick and thin, and they were able to build that really, really large lead off of basically the first zone cap, and they never looked back from that point, as all the pressure was onto Daybreak to match that energy, and just unable to do it, as Tetris Effect just had that constant pressure and were able to use it to its fullest.
And when you talk about pressure, we gotta mention Tent, right? Because Tent is a weapon that you have to kind of build your comp around and play around. Because in all honesty, Tent is not very much played. It's definitely a strong weapon. It's just a very unique weapon that not a lot of people use. So not a lot of people are used to fighting against it. So I think Tetris Effect did a really good job of playing around the Tent. However, do you think they'll keep it as we move into game number 2, Tower Control Mako Mart?
I think that's a very interesting question here, because I can see arguments for both sides. Argument in terms of favoring it as you're able to create so much space with it, especially in the side lanes, just being a presence. Not only that, but just being on the tower itself and being able to ledge camp with that. But I can also see an argument for the other side, maybe switching to a different type of support weapon in terms of tower control, maybe switching to a bubble weapon such as a junior possibly, maybe a roller maybe to really do the deadly combination of having both the roller and the blaster that I believe they ran for ledge camping, kind of how Macomart is built up. I think that would be a very interesting choice as well. But on the other side, I'm very interested to see what Daybreak will bring because I feel like some of their weapons may not work as well here, especially it being tower control.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I could maybe a switch from the ballpoint potentially. Maybe you might see the first kick come out with the VAC. I don't know. Now, who knows? But enough speculation. Daybreak with no changes, they feel comfortable, and no, actually no, there is a change. Instead of a tense, they go with the vanilla slosher, a very strong weapon on Mako in general. But that's kind of a really different weapon from Tent because Tent is more of a distraction while Slosher is more of that like kind of a supportive weapon. It can play very supportive, it can play very far back, but so far it's working out for them as Tetris Effect will to get the first two, but that's a quick 2-2 on both sides.
Yeah, weapons are played for their specials, and I like the pick of the bucket because what do you get with the bucket? You get those tri-strikes, you get those GG strikes, you get that ability to completely shut down the game just with its presence, and already it's being built and set up already here as Daybreak continues to move forward here, already moving towards, or Tetris Effect actually moving towards the first checkpoint and almost capturing it, will capture it, and now Cooler available and Pops. They are just on a roll here, Topic, as they were in Game 1.
I mean, yeah, Tetris Effect doing everything they can. They managed to break the first checkpoint, but really, when you talk about Makamore Tower, that second checkpoint is really, really crucial. And so far, Tetris Effect is doing everything they can. Daybreak trying to force their way out. It's not gonna work. The strikes in for a little bit of cover. It's gonna work. And Tetris Effect getting it down to at least getting to the third checkpoint before Daybreak can do anything. But they're still just marching their way through. The roller on the flank is gonna get one, but Junpei there on the dually just gonna ride it for a little bit longer and kill to clutch it up, and Tetris Effect with a 100-0 on tower. Something that's not seen very often because of the checkpoints, but we were proved wrong. I was proved wrong.
Yeah, and Tetris Effect really just amped up their pace of how they played, and it makes sense as tower control is going to be a slightly more faster pace as you are not limited to as much as the zone, but very dominant from start to finish there as Tetris Effect really didn't run into major issues as they were able to use their comp to their strengths. You saw the tri-strikes there being thrown by Trash Can to really open up Tetris Effect, to open up Daybreak's defense and really give them space to work with, and Jupi with this really, really, really important pick at the very end secured the win for Tetris Effect, winning 2-0 in this series and moving on to semifinals.
Yeah, that was a great attempt by Daybreak, but unfortunately, they just ran into a brick wall, and Tetris Effect will move on. And with that, that'll be the end of quarterfinals. We will take a quick break before we get into our semifinals matchup. So, grab your popcorn, grab your soda, grab your boba, stay right there. Well, I hope you got your drinks, hope you got your sodas, hope you got your food as we are back with From the Ink Up 63. I am Topic, joined by Rocket. We got a pretty interesting matchup coming up for you in our semifinals. We have a 2 versus 3. We got Choral Convergence and Asphyxiation.
Yes, indeed. We have a heavyweight matchup here, 2-3 seed, like you mentioned. And reminder, we are in our best of 5 now. We are in semifinals, so longer matchups are awaiting for us. And these teams have been dominant, and they are 2 and 3 seeds for a reason. Coral Convergence have been undefeated in terms of sets and map wins. If you look at it, Asphyxiation, also 5-set wins, only dropping one map in their initial first round of gold, but still pretty dominant nonetheless as we move to game number 1, of course, which is Clan Blitz on Inkblot Art Academy. Anything you might want to point out on this map topic or want to discuss, or kind of what we can maybe expect?
Bats. That's it. Like, okay, I should probably explain a little bit more, but whenever I think of Inkblot, I think of bats because that kind of gives you the space to score. Um it gives you access to plat for the most part because if you have bats, you have plat. It gives you, if you want to be a little BM, you can go to enemy spawn and be a little silly. But yeah, whenever I think of going to score, you need to take bats because if you don't take bats, then defense becomes so much easier.
Indeed, and also another importance on specifically Clam Blitz could be some weapons to really help lock out and really take advantage of those ledges. Maybe a roller for a more closer range, maybe a more mid-range blaster is your type of style. Maybe even we see a type of explosher potentially, maybe, probably most less likely, but definitely that is really important, especially where the goal is situated, and you need to really keep the pressure on because that is what Clan Blitz is all about, but it's more important on Clan Blitz because it allows you to really build up that lead because penalty points can be brutal here.
I mean, yeah, it can. So that's why usually well, a good rule of thumb for Clan Blitz specifically is you want to get your first push under 60 points because one, it's a good score. Two, it then takes the enemy clam 2 power clams to at least take lead. So with when you're forming your pushes, you have to make sure that you have enough clams, number one, you have enough specials to sustain your pushes, like maybe a bubble, maybe a strikes, maybe a Zuka, or just anything to just keep you in. And then you want to make sure you have a good just rotation to where, okay, this person's getting clams, this person's scoring, this person's defending the basket. So I think that's why, my personal opinion, I think Clam Blitz is like the best mode in the game, or best competitive mode in the game, because if you don't have good teamwork, you're not really gonna succeed.
Yeah, I agree with that. And to add on it a little bit, I feel like it's the most fast-paced type of game mode. Just the essence of kind of what Splatoon 3 is. Very, very fight-related, very skirmish-related, heavy, and being able to adapt on a dime from quick offense to quickly shutting down the counterattack from your team, like after you're able to score the goal and you're assumably reset here, you should be able to reset in defense and meet the opponents just like that. And if you're just not able to do that, you will get pretty snowballed pretty heavily, I think, especially on this type of map.
Yeah, and it's something to keep in mind. This map, even though it is bigger, the real playing field from one basket to another from one basket to the other is really small. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
at most 5 to 10 seconds to like go from one side to the other. So what happens a lot, right? I think we've both seen it as players and commentators, is one team will get score first, they will wipe out, and then immediately the other team will pounce on that, just take mid and just immediately score again. So I think that's the biggest thing to watch out for, is not overcommitting, especially on a smaller map like Inkblot. If you overcommit, the chances and the opportunity you're giving your opponent is just way too big.
Yeah, indeed. One slip up on defense, and all of a sudden you're already looking at the floodgates open. And similarly, after the attack, you're the opponents are given so much space already just because of the counterattacking, and they're basically already right up next to the goal. And if you lose that, you can be counterattacked pretty quickly. And we've seen that a lot through Clam Blitz in general because it plays similarly to Rainmaker, except a lot more volatile in how different weapons can really approach the playing field. But enough of that speculation. We are jumping straight into things now, as you see right there. Game number 1 in our semifinal matchup. Let's see what both these teams bring for us.
Yeah, any surprises? A range blaster, you know, I'm a big fan of that. We do see a machine, you know, I'm also a big fan of that. Kind of a machine main myself. That's pretty cool. But yeah, on this side of, I believe that's coral, or no, on side of asphyxiation, a very short range comp. No real range other than potentially the machine there.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting choice, but for a mode like Clam Blitz, range doesn't play as much of a factor as it would really on, say, zones where you have to control a part of the map. While here you can really pick and choose where you want to fight. But already we're seeing 4 conversions off to a hot and fiery start already in range. Just to go for the first goal pop here, and it will be a such the first goal will be popped, and 3 members of asphyxiation are down, so another opportunity to make sure a charge will make and pick up that ends up that exactly a late white for asphyxiation. But the Clams need to follow through with this go. Clam does have Clams to throw away, but will get quickly circuited there as 2 will go down as well. It will actually be a wipeout for asphyxiation just like that. Coral Convergence is a solid push, but now, like we've been talking about, a quick counterattack is booming here.
I mean, yeah, we do see the machine here on the wall. They do have a Zuka at the ready. Is going to be popped. Oh, Zuka being Zuka is going to be able to get the pick on the pencil. But that's another one down for Coral Convergence. So asphyxiation, even though they were hit first, they do have an opportunity here to counterattack. There is going to be a cool out in at the ready for asphyxiation. They're going to pop it. And here we go. The Zap's going to go in. They're going to get it, but not all. They have a couple more claims to follow up. We do see KB there on bats, which is very important, trying to go for the pencil. They force them to jump out as the rest of the team just going to keep chucking clams, and it's gonna work. Moody with 2 more. They're gonna take the lead down to 56, and now it's like a flip of a switch. Now asphyxiation is the one with all the pressure, and Coral Convergence is the one on their back foot.
Yeah, but I feel like asphyxiation could have done a little bit more with that push, as they were able to keep on the pressure, yes, but there was just not enough clams in possession of them, and not a lot of clams on the field to begin with, so really a little bit of an unfortunate spot to be in. But still, I'm pretty sure they're happy with that lead, but it is a very slim lead indeed, as now it is Coral Convergence time to strike, and strike they are doing. A beautiful Zuka shot will take out 1, 2, 3 are down, and a knockout. Now Coral Convergence are able to open up the floodgates and really counter back, and this has just been a back and forward and just story of the counterattacks here, Topic.
I mean, call it Clam Blitz, I guess, as Coral Convergence was gonna get the power clam, but that's another wipeout. I think that's the 3rd wipeout that's happened so far. Miyuki all the way pushed up. It's gonna work. They're gonna get one. The shots with them. The Zuka's gonna pop out. Tufa's gonna go down. Asphyxiation, the red carpet's being rolled out for them. A very quick score with a couple clams to follow up. One's gonna go down. KB with a couple more clams. They're gonna get it. Moody to try to provide some support. They're gonna be forced away, and a very quick push for asphyxiation, but also a really solid defense, not allowing them to get any further. They went from, I believe, 56 to 40, so Coral Convergence looking pretty strong here.
Yeah, indeed, and now it is basically their turn to strike, as we've just seen back and forth. Your turn, my turn type of style of playing here. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, and now an opportunity may open as that Gal is continuing to go in, will get taken down, but actually a quick counter from asphyxiation here, slowing the roll as 3 players from Coral Convergence do go down. It is just left to the pencil, really, as the lone survivor of that brief skirmish there. And we're seeing more and more skirmishes here. Quick trade onto USS Moody, and 3 players are down for asphyxiation, but still 2 players are down for Coral Convergence. Now a wipeout in favor of Coral Convergence could open up an opportunity to really get another goal in, and there is the pop.
Yeah, there it is. They're gonna get the power, and they need 3 more clams. Tufa has 2. One more clam will do it. Tan gonna run in. No, they're an inch too short, a yard short from getting it. So now Asphyxiation has an opportunity here to get a really strong counterattack. Miyuki is gonna pop the Zuka, gonna go down, unfortunately. So that's a quick 2 down for Asphyxiation. And so far, Coral Convergence is not letting them breathe. They are very, very controlling of this map so far. I think ever since like the minute mark, Coral Convergence has had mid, and they made it really hard for Asphyxiation to really get anything going.
Yeah, and they're close for the knockout, but no lead is safe ever in Splatoon. 20 seconds left. What can Asphyxiation do here? 2 players are down for Coral Convergence. This could really open up an opportunity for them to strike, especially with them having 2 balls in their possession. 10 seconds left. A good kill there onto Tan from the sloshing machine. Another direct there. Beautiful double there, but 2 players will go down. 3 players now. A wipeout for Asphyxiation, and that will basically do it there. Coral Convergence now really just have to sit on their hands and just really wait for Asphyxiation to make a move, but it is looking really dire for them to really make a move as all the specials are going out for Coral Convergence. All of the picks are going in favor of Coral Convergence, and just like that, game number 1 is going to be Coral Convergence's.
I mean, yeah, Moody tried to do a little bit of dancing at the very end, but unfortunately, the dance floor was full. So that was just a really great job by Coral Convergence. They really hunkered down in that during their last push and right before it. They did not let Asphyxiation paint mid ever since like the 2-minute mark. Before that, it was very back and forth, but right after, it was just Coral Convergence. They got the picks they needed, because really, they just had the range advantage. They had a pencil. They had a range blaster. They could just wait and, like you said, sit on their hands and let Asphyxiation make the mistakes. And eventually, that they got desperate, and desperate times call for desperate plays, and they got punished for it.
Indeed, that entire match was basically just Coral Convergence punched, then counter punch from Asphyxiation, and then finally Coral Convergence really got that really important push there to knock them down to 15, and just like that, they were able to really lock down and really focus on their defense, which basically allowed them to basically hold Asphyxiation down to the 40 point and really control the tempo from there. But a different tempo will be had on Hagglefish Market zones here. Now, I talked initially about how maybe Asphyxiation's close quarters lineup could really benefit them there on such a fighty map like this, but with zones, maybe we can see a little bit of switch here, because that pencil for Coral Convergence can prove very fatal if left unchallenged.
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to bully the pencil per se. You need to make sure that they cannot sit there, because they can sit on tent and just make your life absolutely miserable. And for Coral Convergence, we are going to see Drew switch over to the Octobar, so the Zipcaster, to try to be a very, very annoying weapon for the pencil to deal with. But so far, Coral Convergence, at least initially, is going to get the first cap of the game. A quick fight on the left-hand side is going to go for a trade, and so far, that's going to benefit Coral Convergence, as they're going to get 2 down on Asphyxiation.
Yeah, also for Coral Convergence, you have the power of the range blaster, so even more pressure, long-range pressure for Coral Convergence could prove fatal here if left unchecked by the brush, because the brush seems to be the X factor for Asphyxiation if they really want to get in. But get in they are, as they are able to at least cap the zone, at least temporarily, as Coral Convergence will now eventually take it back. They will have a little bit of a penalty to go through, but it's not as severe as if you were to say go down towards the 24 mark. A beautiful pick there for the V-shot, and 2 players down for Asphyxiation. An unfortunate jump there will cause the V-shot to fall, but still, it is looking all Coral Convergence so far.
I mean, yeah, now Asphyxiation has to try to force their way in. Drew is gonna pop the Zipcaster, trying to cause a distraction, go for the pencil. They're barely not able to get it. The pencil somehow manages to escape. Coral Convergence is still holding on to zone. I'll fight in the zone. Tan and KB are dueling it out. Drew with some support is gonna at least force them back. Asphyxiation is gonna go for, or at least gonna cap the zone, and now they could really do what their comp is meant to do. Try to force fights. They want to fight a whole lot, because if they don't, if they play at this more neutral situation, just like that, Coral Convergence can really bully them out. They could make them uncomfortable and force them back.
Yeah, force them back indeed. The blaster for asphyxiation will get taken down by the range blaster. Another special being popped, the reef slider and the cooler. All specials are firing on all cylinders for Coral Convergence, so that will allow them to take back the point 30 penalty, but still, they have a lot of space to work with. A nice direct there from the range blaster, maybe trying to look for two here. The splashdown will take down one, will take two with the follow-up as well, but quickly countered back and forward trades for these teams. However, it will be in the favor for asphyxiation as they will have the one-player advantage here as the sloshing machine will continue to move forward, will take the zone with a nice Zuka shot as well, a quick fire shot to take out Tufa to shut down that range blaster. And now asphyxiation really just want to try to get a hold onto the zone as Coral Convergence are not giving it up at all.
I mean, it's the pencil. It's Shark on that pencil. Because if you don't, we've been saying this because pencil is super strong. Because if you don't move it, it can just sit there and just laugh at your face as you try to do it. But that's a good start. Moody with a couple of assists here, able to get Coral Convergence out of there. Now asphyxiation looking really strong here. They gotta watch out for that Zuki though. It's gonna be popped. There's a wave breaker also available for Coral Convergence. They're gonna take the lead. However, Coral Convergence now is doing whatever they can to get to zone. It's gonna work. Sam there in the middle with the fighting. They're forced to back away, and so far asphyxiation looking really strong, maybe looking for a knockout.
Yeah, and this team fight here is going to be key. Will they be forced to have penalty? Yes, they will. Asphyxiation will have that massive penalty added onto them. Coral Convergence, nice pick there onto Miyuki and shutting down that sloshing machine. Now almost out of their penalty. Coral Convergence can now bring this back as 3 players are down for asphyxiation. Uh-oh, this could look really dangerous for them if they can't get in a nice pick. But a double from the blaster. The players lined up in the same spot and were quickly shut down. Now quickly changing things. 3 players are now down for Coral Convergence as the members jump onto the point to prevent the lead from being switched, and they are successful in that. That was looking really dangerous for asphyxiation, but they were able to come back with such a great speed and take back there.
I mean, that's absolutely gut-wrenching. If you're a Coral Convergence, you had it, but unfortunately you lined up too perfectly, just like dominoes, and now asphyxiation with the opportunity here, but Coral Convergence just threw everything in the kitchen sink at them, and asphyxiation, credit to them, did a really good job of not letting go of zone. The flank, though, from Tufa there is gonna be able to get one, but however they're gonna be the last one standing. Miyuki unfortunately is gonna go down, though. Drew gets to get their revenge, and now if you're asphyxiation, the name of the game is just hold on. You gotta make sure you don't lose control of zone. Drew here forced to back away, unfortunately gonna go down on zone. Coral Convergence is gonna pop the cooler, and with that they're just gonna hold forward at this point, because with 8 seconds left they can force asphyxiation to come to them. That's exactly what they're gonna do. And Coral Convergence in overtime, but so far they're looking really strong. 2 down there. Drew trying to do something here, but that might be a second too late, and it is. Asphyxiation will fall to 0-2.
Coral Convergence were able to pull off such a comeback there at the end. They were able to finally get a hold onto the zone and win 2 key team fights against asphyxiation there, as they went 3 down twice in the matter of about 20 seconds, and being able to get that clutching here. You see at the top of your screen, 10 seconds left is about when they were able to take the zone. There's the first double and upcoming triple there with Drew going down, and then Keeley here, this last desperate hurrah from asphyxiation, just weren't able to work just because of that Zuka shot and just because of the wall you have on the lane. They were able to really just isolate these fights to their advantage, and Coral Convergence now could potentially go for the 3-0 sweep.
I mean, if you're asphyxiation, this is not what you want to happen. You need to at least get some momentum, but we are going to game number 3, Undertow Spillway Tower Control. Now, I think we can both agree here. This is a 2 checkpoint map, right?
Mm-hmm.
It basically is 2 checkpoints.
Yeah, pretty much, because the first checkpoint is like basically a gentleman's agreement that you just get it immediately. It's just a little bit of a stalling mechanism to really just allow a building of the push, but the The other 2 checkpoints, that is where the battle starts for sure because of the strong defense you have on them, the elevation change you might have on them, and we've seen the use of blasters a lot already, but I feel like we're going to see a lot more use out of them on this map for sure, and they could be key into really determining which way this map swings.
I mean, yeah, Blaster, Sloshers, or Machine specifically, are just really strong at affecting Tower. We might even see a switch over to the Vanilla Slosher for some GG strikes if push
Mhm.
comes to shove. But yeah, I think for Undertow specifically, I think the second checkpoint, not really second checkpoint. I'd say like, you know that area right past second checkpoint. I'd say that's more of the choke point because you know it's going to be incredibly difficult to get anything going, but if you're asphyxiation, you're going to have to try something here. Coral Convergence going to switch over to that heavy edit and the Kraken range blaster. So a bit of change-ups and no changes really for asphyxiation.
Yeah, that change for the not only the backline allowing you to have a lot more firepower onto that edit, but not only that, the switch over to the CRB basically kind of fills the similar niche of having those GG strikes. The Kraken pretty much is a little bit of a weaker version of the GG strikes, because yes, he will be able to get knocked back, but actually interrupting this Coral Convergence already off to a quick knockout stage there already. Actually, no, asphyxiation quick knockout. They are not taking this lightly as they are just continuing to move on. They want to fight for everything as this is their basically tournament lives at stake, and it basically is here down 2-0. They want to take things one step at a time. They are already past the first checkpoint and down to the 65 point, but their push will be stuffed right there. Really good response from Coral Convergence.
I mean, yeah, they collapsed on tower super well. Basically, everyone went down for a second there after that fight with KB on that right after second checkpoint. But asphyxiation just not looking to give up. A little bit of bonking there underneath the tower from Moody as Coral Convergence is going to collapse on tower. And I think the range blaster is going to be super, super huge because you can just kind of sit there because the tower is kind of forced to come towards you. So you can really dissuade anything from coming your direction, and Coral Convergence will get their first crack at tower as they're going to basically take the first checkpoint with no contest.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying earlier about the CRB filling a similar niche. Okay, never mind. I just can't speak about it as we go 3 down. A beautiful Zuka shot there will shut down members of Coral Convergence, and now Asphyxiation will have their push here, potentially looking for more as this blaster is set up in a great position to really deny any space. It will get taken down, but that splashdown will do the job at least stalling out a little bit, taken down by Tufa on this CRB. The Kraken could provide that GG ability, being able to hop onto the tower and denying any presence is what I've been trying to say. The Zuka will be thrown out to stall a little bit. 2 players are down for Asphyxiation, 2 down for Coral Convergence as well, but so far looking really good for Asphyxiation, especially with that Slosher kill and Drew being such a really good presence with the Octobrush on the tower.
I mean, so far, Asphyxiation is doing everything they really need to. They're getting those picks exactly when they need to. They're keeping their specials when they need to. But here it is, Moody and KB on the tower. Miyuki with a little bit of support. It's gonna work. KB with the splashdown. Miyuki does have Zuka at the ready, but Coral Convergence is gonna collapse on tower and force a jump out. But I think that might have been a little too late because now Coral Convergence, they have a mountain to climb right here, and Asphyxiation is not looking to get swept here. They've been looking super strong in the game. Nice job by Drew with the double kill to push that back. A triple kill. So now Coral Convergence, they gotta be thinking, okay, what do we do? They have to get these, they need the picks. They just need to basically play more together, if that makes sense.
Drew has been insane on the Octobrush and really opened up opportunities for Asphyxiation, not only to really rebound on defense, but to really push in and go in all the way. The Zuka being popped here from Coral Convergence to create some more space. 2 players are down for Asphyxiation, and now they will, Coral Convergence will get their score going, nearing the second checkpoint, but that blaster presence is so great here as we see the Kraken being popped as well from Coral Convergence. Will take down Drew. Shark, though, being isolated left onto the tower by themselves, but Shark and the rest of the team will eventually hop on. A great pick onto Tan right there, and that will basically do it for the push as Coral Convergence loses 2 members in that skirmish, 3 members now, and with Cooler being popped, Asphyxiation now in the driver's seat.
I mean, yeah, they got 60 seconds remaining. They don't really need to put themselves into danger. Though it's the second I say that, they are gonna go 2 down. So Coral Convergence is doing everything they can to at least eat away at this lead. There are 2 specials at the ready for asphyxiation with the Zipcaster and the Zuka, so they might be able to do some. Okay, never mind. There's only 1 now. But so far, Coral Convergence basically a free way towards the second checkpoint. Only 1 person, I believe that's Moody, up there. Yup, it is, trying to at least contest it with some suction bombs, but they're not really in the spot to contest it mainly or fully. So that's a pretty free second checkpoint for Coral Convergence. But asphyxiation able to drop on them. That's going to be 2 down on asphyxiation. Actually, never mind. But Coral Convergence, it's a lot of fighting. Just a lot of fighting.
Yeah, and now nearing the overtime hit, Coral Convergence is running out of time to make this comeback a reality, as now all it takes is for asphyxiation to get isolated onto the tower to end things, and just like that, it will happen just like that. Coral Convergence will not get the sweep. Asphyxiation will now put a point on the board. Now 1-2, not dead yet. Asphyxiation will have to win 2 straight more, but good comeback, and now potential for a reverse sweep if they can keep this momentum going.
Hey man, like you said, momentum. And you know what, they just need a little bit of momentum to get that ball rolling. But as we see on the replay here, just asphyxiation did a really good job of, ironically, asphyxiating the members of Coral Convergence, just taking away all the space they had to work with. And yes, they did go down eventually, but they respawned so quickly, and at the right time, they could kind of like bum rush tower, and it worked. They got those picks when they needed it, and with that, they have a little bit more life yet left as they need to win this next game to force game 5, which is going to be Crab Leg Rainmaker.
Greats. This is the theme of this map for sure, and gonna be a very interesting quirk, especially on Rainmaker, where you will have those opportunities where the Rainmaker is isolated, very vulnerable, so you will have those weapons such as Drew on the Octobrush, or conversely, you have those longer range weapons such as the Edit or the Pencil, really, just being an annoyance, poking at it, and maybe even just getting a sneaky pick. But yeah, Rainmaker is one of the more volatile modes, and on a map such as this, it's going to be interesting to see what both these teams have brought. So far, we have seen Blaster play continue to remain the same from both teams, but I'm curious to see what both these teams may bring out. What are your thoughts on the topic?
If you're Coral Convergence, I'd say maybe Shark goes back to Pencil, because Pencil is just Pencil and it's really good on this map. I could actually see both. I could see like the V range blaster being used. Actually, I could see V range blaster and potentially. Yep, I called it. And I could see there's the splashdown blaster from KB. So really, not a whole lot of changes. Yeah, there's a couple here and there, but both these teams have the same general idea of their comp of what they want to do.
Yeah, a little bit of a mix and match of different comps that these teams like to run. Asphyxiation running that really aggressive comp that we saw in Game 1, and Coral Convergence running that type of poking ability of we saw on Hacklefish Zones. But already off to a great start. Coral Convergence are already near the goal of asphyxiation, not goal, the checkpoint of asphyxiation, and they will burst through it with quick speed. Only 30 seconds on that push, and the jumps are coming in as well. Yuki will go down, and now the pressure is on for asphyxiation, as any mistake here could prove fatal.
I mean, so far, Coral Convergence is doing exactly what they need to, capitalizing on those mistakes, as they're going to get down to 40 within the first minute of the game. KB with the splashdown, not able to find a pick, going to get collapsed there, going by Tan and another. But so far, Coral Convergence is looking super strong here. That's going to be another 2-for-1 trade, and asphyxiation will pick up the Rainmaker, try to get it out of there. They're going to. Coral Convergence going to go 3 down here. And now, if you're asphyxiation, the main thing you have to do is which way do you go, because you know they're respawning soon. You know that you have to make a quick decision. Looks like they're going to elect to go that left side, and with green grass, then they might be able to do it. Never mind.
Ooh, but a little bit of hesitation was all Coral Convergence needed to shut down that Rainmaker push right there. The splashdown will go out for Asphyxiation to try to create more space, but it will not be the case. A Shark quickly shuts that down. A quick defense and strong response from Coral Convergence will deny the checkpoint pop for Asphyxiation to potentially swing things and momentum in their favor. As 2 players, now 3 players actually for Coral Convergence to go down. Scratch that momentum, as now momentum is all in Asphyxiation's path, as now they look to try to take the lead here with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, but if you're Coral Convergence, the Rainmaker being there is actually pretty good because it's at such a height difference that you can kind of sit on top of there and you kind of force them to go that way. And you kind of force them to be like, hey, you have to make that jump. Okay, you know what? I'm going to stop talking. They made the jump.
They made the jump indeed, but it's not enough to take the lead, but really impressive that they were able to get up there. 3 players are down for Asphyxiation though, so that will most likely be the end of that push as Coral Convergence now try to move the Rainmaker out of their own side of the map. 2 players are down yet again for Asphyxiation. The Wavebreaker is out, the Whale is out as well, but Keeley, this is a dead man's land as the Rainmaker just basically has to walk forward and hope for the best. It will extend the lead a little bit, quickly getting taken out by this sloshing machine, but 2 minutes left, still plenty of time left to work with if you are Asphyxiation. A beautiful Zuko shot to take out Tufa. 2 players are down for Coral Convergence, but Asphyxiation definitely are sweating bullets now.
I mean, they don't really have to be sweating bullets because they got a lot of time left. They broke through the checkpoint. That's the really important part. Now they broke through that, they can not slow it down, but they could be a little bit more careful. As so far, 6 is trying to go in. They do go 1 for 1 here, and now the Rainmaker trying to go this left side, I believe, as Miyuki here is gonna paint it up for them. Never mind, they are electing to go right. Moody though forced it back away as 2 members of Coral Convergence are gonna collapse onto them. Never mind, they switch it again to the left, but there it is. Shark with the pencil, doing what pencils do, and just plays a little bit of laser tag. Fortunately, they're gonna go down. A blaster one's gonna go down in the trade, and so far, Coral Convergence playing some really solid defense, not allowing Asphyxiation to get any further.
Yeah, Shark on that pencil really didn't have to move much into switching sides of the push to really shut down that Asphyxiation push. We do see Drew going in with the Zipcaster. We'll find one, but will get taken out in the process. And now Moody with Asphyxiation will try to move the Rainmaker even further, but Keeley, Coral Convergence does lose 2 members here, and now an opportunity to strike for Asphyxiation to take this game here late. The jumps are coming in, the trades are coming out. It is even 2-2 fight here, but obviously in the advantage of Coral Convergence because of where the Rainmaker is placed. It is placed so far up in their spawn that Asphyxiation basically has to jump into no man's land to try to get tested.
I mean, you kind of just have to bum rush it. They got the plans to do that now. They do have the cooler. So if your Coral Convergence is just don't die. Okay, okay. Anyways, but yeah, now Asphyxiation with 3 down on the side. That's so white out. That's not what you want to see in the final 10 seconds. Moody's gonna pick it up. They're gonna get it down to 8 in Coral Convergence. That's not what you want to see. You have 4 seconds plus overtime. Drew sharking around the pillow, gonna try to find the pick, forced to back away, and now Sam, he needs to stay alive for as long as possible, but that Rainmaker clock is gonna keep on ticking. You will have to go as quick as possible now.
Yeah, you need to move forward, but Asphyxiation are not giving any ground here. Sam has to move straight dead ahead. They can't hesitate anymore. Any hesitation could result in failure here. But the problem with that is Asphyxiation are lurking in the way. They are waiting for an opportunity, and there is the opportunity right now. Don't blink now, but a potential reverse sweep is down. Might be in our cards here, Topic, as now Asphyxiation even things up 2-2. A massive team fight there and a massive wipeout. Could potentially see a little bit of an upset here.
I mean, if you're Coral Convergence, the absolute worst timing that could have ever happened, because you had a solid game plan, you had it in your base, and you basically had to force Asphyxiation to come to you. But that's exactly what they did in Coral Convergence. They just went down at the worst times. They got wiped out, and Asphyxiation just said, hey, that's free Rainmaker. They took it, they ran and got to 8, and then at the very end, as we're seeing in the replays, just a little bit of hesitation. That because there was a bit of anxiety there because that clock was continuing to run. You had about less than a minute. You just had to keep going. You had to keep going forward, and unfortunately, like you said earlier, asphyxiation were waiting in the wings for any sign of weakness.
Yeah, and I was mentioning how asphyxiation was sweating a little bit of bullets when they were down a little bit, but now I'm pretty sure if you're Coral Convergence, you are sweating a little bit because now you've dropped 2 straight games and hopefully won't drop a third here, as now Asphyxiation have evened up the playing field, and what a map to be our game number 5, Clam Blitz, Scourge Gorge, and already all of our teams, both of our teams have all their players readied up, but I'm really interested to see what comps we see here. I liked the aggressive comp for Asphyxiation and how well it worked, and I think we could see a similar story work here, but that we will have to wait and see. It is do or die time. This is where the true teams rise and the pretenders crumble a little bit under the pressure. Let's see what these two teams bring out for us. A little bit of a switch up here. We see the 2-shooter roster for, I believe that is Coral Convergence, and on the other side, the same aggressive comp that we've seen out of Asphyxiation thus far.
I mean, yeah, both teams, they know what they want to play. Like you said, they readied up almost immediately, so they just want to get this done as quick as possible. Coral Convergence with a good start, getting one down, taking a lot of mid control, and kind of forcing Asphyxiation back. The 1-for-1, 2-for-1 here, 2-for-2. Hold up, the tides are turning. Asphyxiation trying to close the gap, getting down Shark. That's really, really big for them. Moody popping off for whatever reason, getting 2 there with the zap, and now with a lot of clams on them, trying to build up a power claim. And now if you're Asphyxiation, you gotta take advantage of this as quick as possible.
Who says MZAP can't be a Slayer weapon? Who says that? Oh my goodness, a quick Zuka though shuts down all of Asphyxiation's momentum, dead in the water, and the ball will potentially be lost as well as more players for Asphyxiation are falling. They are not taking this lightly themselves. Coral Convergence most likely they just want to put everything on the table, and that's what you need to do here with it being even up. Any mistake can prove fatal, any mistake can end your tournament run here, and it is just a lot of fighting here. Quick trade onto Drew there from this V-shot. We are seeing just the clam economy for both teams pretty evened up, though, Topic, which is really interesting to see here, especially with the even inking field as well.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what happens when you're in neutral a lot. You're kind of, because this is kind of the neutral, both teams popping Zuka, both teams popping Cooler. They're trying to feel each other out and try to get something going, as Coral Convergence will get to. Down Tufa here, trying to fight Miyuki, who's on the ramp. Unfortunately, they are gonna go down, so Asphyxiation with a really quick numbers advantage. Miyuki pushing forward onto Shark. Unfortunately, there are, actually no, the flank, hold on, I didn't notice that the flank from KB is gonna get Shark there, and Asphyxiation is in. The zip catchers are gonna come out. However, they have follow up here. Drew just popping off on the zip catchers, gonna get another one, leaving some space for Miyuki to get a couple more clams here. Drew with one more. KB is gonna go down. Moody forced back. So even though Asphyxiation struck first, Coral Convergence with a very quick defense, and now with the free pity clam.
Yeah, 3 players are down for Asphyxiation. This could prove dangerous here. 2.5 minutes left in the match. Plenty of time to work with here. Zuka being popped, and now an opportunity. No, the goal not had quite yet, as Tufa will just move ahead with the Kraken, allowing their team to go in and continue that pressure. There it is, the jump going in as well, and there is the lead switch right there. That is why you need to get under that 60-point mark, is because the counterattack may be too brutal, but a quick response from Asphyxiation makes sure that doesn't bleed any further, and now Asphyxiation feeling the pressure for sure.
I mean, talking about feeling the pressure, Sam there with I think a triple kill to keep themselves in that spot, to keep Coral Convergence in at least a decent spot. And now Asphyxiation a bit pushed back. Another clam made for Coral Convergence. Shark here doing what Pentos do best, and just be kind of a scout for the rest of their team, trying to get Cooler as quick as possible. And now Coral Convergence with trying to at least get a little bit further. We do see Tufa popping that Kraken here, trying to create some space, though. Asphyxiation gonna go 2 down again. That's super, super unfortunate. Drew with another pick. We have about 80 seconds left in the game, and so far, both of these teams are looking super, super even.
Yeah, Drew managing to find a quick double will get taken down, but Asphyxiation will lose 2 members of their own as they are continuing to move forward despite the shaky numbers here. Yuki will pop the Zuka to try to make something happen, try to create some pressure, but it is their own life that is in danger as 2 members of Asphyxiation will go down. Now Coral Convergence will move in, and Keeley, the ball is lost for Asphyxiation, now in no man's land in Coral Convergence's control, and they are just not stopping the pressure as now the ball will find its way into the goal. Drew really being the only player for Asphyxiation to try to keep in. The blaster will also fall as well, but things are looking really desperate now for Asphyxiation.
Yeah, Sam there has a couple more clamps to follow up, but they're gonna get down to 43. Moody gonna go down at the very end of that crack, and KB with a little bit of follow-ups able to get Tufa. Tan's gonna go down as well, so Coral Convergence, that push is gonna be down. Now, Fear Asphyxiation,
Yeah, 10 seconds
you
left.
have
The goal.
15 seconds plus overtime. You need to go.
Yeah, when we are nearing the end of things, 5 seconds left. Cooler will be popped. Drew will find one. The Zipcaster could find an opening here. Will get quickly taken down. That opening will close shut, but maybe Asphyxiation could get some magic here as they need to make it happen now as the time is running down. A little less than half left in overtime. This ball needs to find its way to the goal, but the Zuka shot will shut it down right there. Sam will shut down that ball. The Drew does have another one, will get shut down as well. A very clutch double there from Sam and punching Coral Convergence ticket into finals. What a set we had there, Topic.
I mean, at that very end, you know what it came down to? Hesitation. Just like the last game where the cards were reversed and the Coral Convergence hesitated at the very end. Asphyxiation, they just hesitated. You saw the ball trying to determine when the best time it was to go in. Coral Convergence was 2 down. They had the opportunity. It was just that second of hesitation allowed Coral Convergence to come back and just kind of the Zuka shot from Sam, though, shout out just like out of nowhere, hey, the ball's down, and the rest of Coral Convergence was able to collapse on that, leaving very little time for Asphyxiation. So Coral Convergence will hold on, and like you said, what a great set.
Yeah, and actually their opponent is already set in finals. Coral Convergence will face our #1 seed from the 8th planet, Neptune. Hello. And Asphyxiation will move to the 3rd place match against Tetris Effect, who from the 8th planet won 3-1. A little bit of a contested set, but ultimately moving on there. And this is going to be a set for the set. Our 1 and 2 seed, obviously expected, but it's gonna be such a Titan v Titan fight for sure. Topic.
I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm just excited, but yeah, I'm just excited honestly because you know 1, 2, good, pretty good seating. You know, pretty good seating to have a 1, 2, but you know they're here for a reason. I'm just waiting for it to get started.
Yeah, and I believe we'll actually take a very, very, very short break as we get everything set up. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you have your snacks ready because I know, and Topic, I'm sure you know, this one is going to be a movie. But we will be right back to figure out who will be our victor of From the Ink Up number 63.
Stay right there.
We have our last two teams standing here. 4 from the Ink Up, number 63. We are back here. A victor will be determined. Let's see who it will be. It will be from the 8th planet versus Coral Convergence, who we saw survive against asphyxiation there, but they need to put that set behind them because now their number 1 seed awaits. My name is Rocket, joined by Topic, of course, and we are going to be looking at these heavyweights facing on game number 1, Splat Zone's Robo Ramen.
Yeah, you know what? We all love a 1-2, unless you're anyone else playing. But anyways, yeah, Splat Zone's Ramen. I like to view this map, ironically, as a ramen bowl, right? Because everything, all the noodles, your egg, your broth is all in the middle. All the action's in the middle, while you have that outer lining, which not a lot happens there, but like there's still, it's there for a reason, kind of like that little protective barrier, right? That's what I view this map as, because the outer lining, while less, underneath side, while less valuable than everything in the middle, it's still important that you keep an eye on it.
I love that metaphor, and you're just making me hungry, Topic. But anyways,
You're welcome.
besides that, but yeah, we've seen how well Coral Convergence has done on zones. We've seen that Pencil really provide its value, and conversely, on the other side, for from the 8th planet, I would assume that we would see something similar as we see some interesting weapon comps that could potentially be pulled out. I'm looking at Sendu, looking at some of these teams. We do potentially see E-Leader being pulled out, maybe a little bit of Bamboozler if we're lucky. I doubt we'd see it, but most likely with the typical pencil v pencil pick. But yeah, for sure gonna be a battle of the backlines on such a map like this. And also, those side and flank routes are always so key as well into really disrupting those backlines. So it's whoever's gonna be able to disrupt that backline more may have the advantage here.
Yeah, because unlike most maps in Splatoon 3, this map has flank routes. So, yeah, I think it's very important to keep an eye on and everything. That's why, like, it's like to say it's kind of overlooked, right? The underneath routes, because the main ramp is like right there, right in front of your face. Hey, we gotta focus on this, because yes, that's where a lot of the main forces will go. However, if you keep your eyes off of the flank routes and you don't secure them, then you could very easily get your backliner down plus 1 or 2 more, and then a whole lot worse can happen.
Yeah, for sure. Both these teams still thinking a little bit. This might be the opportunity for different strats to be pulled out. We saw it actually on that last round for Coral Convergence, running 2 shots. They're running that Gal and that V shot, so we know that that is a potential lineup that they can roll out here. But enough said. We are moving to game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is the series. We're seeing already a red end zap, which is very interesting indeed. 4 from the 8th planet having those chumps. We are hopping straight into things, Topic.
Yeah, an orange zap and a brush. We don't really see orange zap, but you know what? It makes sense. It's a zap, so of course it paints well. Auto bomb, underrated sub, and then chumps. It's a very good fighting special, ironically, because you can just fight within the chumps and give you like little shields to work with. And so far, from the 8th planet is going to be able to, Coral Convergence is going to be able to get to zone. The Zuka is going to come out, the Zipcaster is going to come out, try to go for a shark there. It is going to work, and from the 8th planet is going to be able to at least cap the zone first, or neutralize the zone. Well, Tan on the flank is going to go down, unfortunately. So with that, from the 8th planet trying to, but to my surprise, Coral Convergence is still fighting over this.
Yeah, from the 8th planet will eventually take the zone. It is Coral Convergence in the pink, from the 8th planet in the blue here, and 2 specials are available for Coral Convergence to try to retake this. The Reef Slider and Azuka will find the shot onto the slosher there, and they will go down. The cooler as well being placed. The Sprinkler just try to contesting the zone a little bit, but still Coral Convergence still really bringing the pressure to from the 8th planet, which I'd love to see here early on.
I mean, that's what they have to do here. They have to dislodge the pencil. They have to make sure that From the 8th Planet is kind of off their rocker, they're off their game. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job, though unfortunately, they are going to go 2 down. Tupa's going to go down. Tan, the last member alive, going to be forced to run away, though. Instead, opting to try to fight for the zone, going to get caught out, going to be called out almost immediately, and there's the jump out. So now, if you're From the 8th Planet, this is your opportunity to really get a good hold, because you've seen what core convergence can do. Now the question is, can you counteract that?
Yeah, and counteracted they need to do with these tri-strikes potentially trying to dislodge these members, and they will do its job allowing that bucket to find a pick. The Bazooka being popped, quickly shut down by that end zap right there. 2 players are down now for Core Convergence. Zone, though, still pretty contested between both teams now. Eventually, though, From the 8th Planet will take it, and now looking to swap the zone. The Chumps will go out to further dislodge these members of Coral Convergence. 2 players are down, and now the lead will be switched in favor for From the 8th Planet.
Yeah, and I think that was 100 out or 100 to lead change if I'm not mistaken, or at least 100 or like 99 to lead change. But anyways, that's a really, really long hold, and so far From the 8th Planet looking to continue that as 2 specials are going to be popped for Coral Convergence, the Wavebreaker and the Zuka, though none of them are really going to affect the zone. Tupa's going to go down. Sam there is going to be able to find a pick on the bucket, and Coral Convergence will thankfully take control of the zone, and now starts their opportunity for a lockout.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of penalty points to chew through here, Topic, so there is a great opportunity for them to come back into it. And as I'm speaking right now, they are about to jump out of the penalty points, and they are continuously putting the pressure on. Coral Convergence will find a quick trade there as the Zipcaster Octobrush continues to try to find an opening, but still, though, Coral Convergence bend not break. They will eventually, though, lose a little bit of the zone from those tri-strikes, so a massive penalty will be had onto them, but still a large penalty for From the 8th Planet as well.
Yeah, it's just very, very back and forth. Coral Convergence will be able to tap the zone, but the question becomes, can they hold on? They are going to force a jump out from one of the members of From the 8th Planet, and now they're looking to hold on, but they still have 75 seconds left, and that's a really, really long time, because From the 8th Planet are not going to just sit back and let them win. They're going to fight as long as they can. Coral Convergence are going to go 2 down here, but they chewed through their penalty points, so now they just have to hold on. That's another one down. Only the pencil in really striking distance for the zone. The zap's gonna come in there. The bucket's gonna jump in. Trying to go for the zone is gonna work. The strikes are gonna take control of zone for From the 8th Planet. But now it becomes, can they hold on?
Coral Convergence are definitely showing they're a force to be reckoned with, but they still have plenty of time to be this lead to be switched here. 30 seconds left. The penalty is a moderate one, around 30 points, but Coral Convergence cannot rest on this. The brush will go down, so now an opportunity to really go in, but the B shot for Coral Convergence will go down there. The Chumps will force the pencil back, and the other members of Coral Convergence. A great pick from the pencil. 13 seconds left. However, the penalties is nearing at the end of it, but Coral Convergence now will take an opportunity to take back the zone here. The tri-strikes are available to try to contest and hold them back. It is going back and forth between specialists here, but Coral Convergence will hang on and take game number 1 in this final set.
You know what? We said it earlier this set before we started. This is going to be a very good set, because that was a very, very back and forth game. Luckily for Coral Convergence, they held on to zone last. They got the much larger push, and then whenever From the 8th Planet tried to push in, they did a really good job of countering them and making sure they didn't get anything going. That's a nice double kill there by Shark and one other member from Coral Convergence to kind of stop any further advancements from the 8th Planet, and then from then on, they were just able to really fight for zone.
You saw there at the end how well these members of Coral Convergence are able to really move together and basically deathball their way into the zone. We saw their Bamboo Shark on that pencil really being the only member that's slightly away, but the other members, Tan, Sambrews, and Tufa, all moved together as one unit and really moved in to take that zone back keyly near the end to stop any potential hopes and dreams of From the 8th Planet in forcing overtime. But enough of that. We are moving on to game number 2. Shipshape Cargo on on tower control here, which is gonna be a really big, I believe, change in pace for sure.
I mean, yeah, and whenever I think of ship shape towers specifically, I think of the court because if you have the court, you can get access to that bottom left side. I believe that's pits, if I'm not mistaken. And if you get control of that, you can basically get a free first checkpoint. Yeah, first checkpoint. So I think the thing becomes how well can your comp hold on because you can there is that grate there right in front of the tower, right? So this map then becomes how well can you transition from the right side because this map uses the entire map. It goes from the far left to the far right. So how well can you transition from side to side?
Yeah, 100%. That is something to focus on indeed, but so far a really close set because we have seen how well both teams have been able to counterattack and really no major errors in their play for sure. It's just that Coral Convergence really got that last push, and usually the who strikes last will win the game, but just a very back and forth set indeed. Again, I feel like I keep mentioning it, but that's just how these top teams and how these top games will go through. It is just a back and forth. They always keep us guessing topic of really what can happen because in a game like Splatoon, anything can happen with the flip of a switch, and just like that, boom, new pace.
I mean, I think I do agree with that, but I think Tower specifically is kind of more resistant to that. Never mind, stop the speculation. We're hopping straight into it. Not a whole lot of change. Actually, no, scratch that. We are gonna see an end parry splat release from the 8th planet. So very, very aggressive comp. Hold on, and an S blast. So they're gonna be in your face all of the time.
In your face for sure, but not only that, but basically the huge special from that Booyah Bomb will provide some value, but Coral Convergence already off to another great start here, getting past and attempting to get past this first checkpoint. This is usually a given for both teams, really just winning one team fight, maybe two team fights to get this, but this is the long, long distance that you will need to travel. The splashdown won't quite find its mark, just getting stuck under that, but will find Shark on that. Keeley taking out that pencil, no more range, but the cooler will go out at least for Coral Convergence to keep it. The strikes are going out as well, and I am just now noticing from the 8th planet not only has strikes, but Booyah Bomb, the amount of ability, the amount of specials they are able to throw onto the tower could be key into them really holding up a strong defense.
I mean, if they miss one, guess what? They got a second one right on the way. So I think if they take the lead and it's late in the game, I think it really depends on them not going down. But so far, Coral Convergence looking super, super strong here, not allowing from the 8th planet to even get any points, and them pushing again. Now, they're going to have to watch out because if from the 8th planet has Cooler at the ready, they're just going to bum rush tower because we did see it happen that first time. The Empire did rush tower and it did work out. There's a splashdown coming out again, but Coral Convergence is going to be able to get a lot further, down to 37. Not quite the second checkpoint, but a really, really good pushes and really good sustained pushes.
Yeah, indeed, but from the 8th planet has a tough hill to climb here, as 37 points is a very large lead. Not impossible, but it's going to take some time and for a lot of fights to go their way. Booyah Bomb drops here just to create some space for those jumps to really get in because of those two earlier picks. Cooler will be had though, so those jumps will be had really fast. A quick pick onto the Gal will be had. And the Emperors will fall. Two players now actually go down from the planet. Coral Converge is not willing to give much ground at all, continuing their bend but don't break philosophy. 8 unfortunate bomb pick there will take out that V shot, but overall Coral Convergence strong defense and quick counterattack. That seems to be their winning formula.
I mean, it's waiting for a reason. I think their main thing is they have to keep from the 8th planet at bay, and they've been doing a really good job of doing that nice kill there by Sam trying to get 2 down, but that's gonna be a 2-for-2 trade. And so far, if you're from the 8th planet, you have to kind of break through. You're gonna have to find a way to consistently get those picks on the pencil and the range blasters is also the main one keeping you back, and that's a really good start there, as they do have a cooler. So right now they have the chance to try to push forward, but you know what? This is tower control. Blaster hits tower, you gotta move.
Yeah, and now from the 8th planet will potentially find themselves an opportunity to take past this first checkpoint. They will, as 2 players were down for Coral Convergence. The M-Parry will get shut down. The Booyah Bomb's quickly thrown out as well. And Bazooka actually being popped from Coral Convergence will lead to 3 members of From the 8th Planet going down. And now Coral Convergence back. A nice direct shot there will take down that ends up Keeley. That cooler will now be out of commission for a little bit, and this could really provide an opportunity for Coral Convergence to try to extend their lead, as they are not a team to back down from this at all. They want to continue to play to their tempo, continue to put on that pressure, and that is what they seem to be doing really effectively.
Well, I feel like that's kind of what's hurting them now, because they're gonna go 2 or 3 down there within the last minute, and now From the 8th Planet has an opportunity, but you know what? They're playing tower control. They're just gonna harass the tower, and it's gonna work out in their favor, as From the 8th Planet is gonna go 3 down. So Coral Convergence basically doing whatever they want to, just making sure that From the 8th Planet cannot get any further, leaving only the bucket left to try to play some defense with some splat bombs. It's gonna work, but with only 20 seconds left, From the 8th Planet is gonna have to break through, because I think that's been the real theme of this game. Nice kill there by Tan. They just haven't been able to get those picks exactly when they need it. There's always been like a little delayed or a little bit too early, and they haven't been able to fully capitalize on them.
Yeah, but 3 specials are available for Coral Convergence to stop this. Keeley, the Kraken here, the Kraken being used now to keep everyone off the tower, and just like that, Coral Convergence 2-0 already. The great use of the Kraken as well. I saw it around the 30-second mark, being pocketed the entire time. A great use there from, I believe, Tufa, the Blaster player, just being able to single-handedly shut down an overtime push. And now Coral Convergence up 2-0 in finals. We saw them up 2-0 before, and what did it turn out to be? It turned out to be actually a pretty close set, so it's definitely not over for From the 8th Planet, but definitely now you will be having to sweat a little bit, because no more mistakes. It is do or die time.
I mean, if I were From the 8th Planet, I'd be sweating a lot of it, not a little bit. But yeah, I think, like you said, with Tufa from Coral Convergence, it's just they recognize, hey, I have a special that can make people get off tower. I will stay back, because they couldn't really affect them, because the range blaster just outranged all of them, right? So they could stay back and just say, hey, once it hits overtime, get off tower. And that's exactly what happened. They got off tower. And now, if you're From the 8th Planet, you gotta turn around here, as we are going to game number 3, our potential final game of From the Ink Up, this 63, Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker.
Oh, we have chaos on our hands for sure, and based on how both these games have turned out, it is going to be hard to predict this one, because not only is the map predictable, the entire way these teams are playing have been unpredictable for me and you, Topic, because it has gone back and forward. Quick advantages are quickly shut down by quick counterattacks, and on a chaotic map like Humpback Pump Track, where can more chaos be found?
You know, I could name a couple of places, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I think Humpback Pump Track. I'm a bucket player, right? So I'm not biased, but I like this map. So I do think we should see a bucket. Fingers crossed. But enough speculation. From the 8th Planet on their last breath. They're gonna go with that really aggressive comp from game number 2 from Coral Convergence. Tufa switching from a more long-range weapon to a carbon roller. Very, very aggressive. And that's Sam there with a T-Tech. So quite a bit of a changes from Coral Convergence.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot for Coral Convergence here. Going away from what I expected to be really just pulling out the regular custom blaster, but going for the carbon, I like it a lot with their aggression. However, not going to work out for them initially on that team fight, as From the 8th Planet are trying to kind of replicate some of that magic that we saw from Asphyxiation to try to bring this back to at least a more even playing field, but already the first checkpoint off to a great start. We'll have to back up a little bit here, but a key flank in a potentially dangerous situation. The splashdown will find one, will find two, a huge flank there from the dualies. The M-Fairy dualising may open up an opportunity. An attempted reset by Curl Convergence will get shut down as well, but Healy, that will delay the push a little bit, but overall a great flank here, but now being in check here from that Carbon.
I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Thankfully, from Core Convergence are able to shut that down, but that first flank could have been so deadly. But if you're Core Convergence, you're just glad it didn't get any further. And now, from the 8th planet, swinging first, just going all out, saying, hey, this is it. If we don't win this game, the dualies again trying to go for another flank, gonna get shut down forcefully by the Zuka. And now Coral Convergence can just set up here for a solid defense on this elbow, as the whale's gonna come out, but from the 8th planet going forward down to 31. And look how well they've been playing. I would expect them to try to go a little bit further maybe.
Yeah, but now it is time for Coral Convergence to push, as 2 players are down. 4 from the 8th planet is their opportunity to strike. There are 2 specials available, 4 from the 8th planet. Keely, those Tri-Strikes and the Booyah Bomb to potentially delay this a little bit. Keely also the Burst Bombs are thrown out. There's the Booyah Bomb being thrown. Will it be thrown in time? Yes, it will be thrown in time just to delay it a little bit. A great kill there from the S-Blast, but the checkpoint will be had nonetheless.
Yeah, that would be checkpoint, but from the 8th planet, throwing everything at the checkpoint to make sure they can't get any further. The Zuka from Tufa is gonna be popped. They're not gonna find any picks though. They aren't get some chip damage. That's gonna be 1 down for this side from the 8th planet. Tan's gonna pick it up and try to get a little bit further. Sam there in front, Tufa in front, clearing the path. Though the curling bomb's not gonna get it, they're gonna take the lead by 5 points. Tufa's gonna go down, and from the 8th planet now on their back foot, and Coral Convergence just looking to end this right now.
That was such a great initial push from the 8th planet that we've normally seen a more back and forth slow pace, but even despite that, Coral Convergence were still able to close that lead and take it nonetheless, and now they have 3 specials from the 8th planet have 3 specials available to really try to bring this back into their favor here. They have the numbers advantage now with that great pick onto Tan, the almost pick onto that Carbon Roller, but opportunity could present itself here, especially with all those specials, the Booyah Bomb being placed just to try to create some space over here in Bunker. The Tri-Strikes are available as well to further dislodge them, but they are just building their resources here as the cooler will be built as well.
I think the question becomes, did they use that Booyah Bomb a bit too early? Because if you look at it, not a lot has changed for Coral Convergence. They're still on plat. They managed to get 2, 3 down on the side of from the 8th planet. Tufa smartly gonna jump out there. So I ask, did they use their specials a bit too early and not get a lot out of it? Because now we're back to a neutral situation. Tufa gonna go down. That's gonna be 2 down from the 8th for Coral Convergence. And now under a minute to go from the 8th planet, looking to just pain up and just find a way in. Because so far, Coral Convergence has been shutting down each and every attempt that they've tried.
Yeah, they've been keeping them in check really well. The splashdown will find 1. The trade will be had. Another trade will be had from the Carbon as well. But it has been just a scrum for the Rainmaker here. Neither team really being able to pick it up, and that will be to the advantage of Coral Convergence. They have the lead. They can really sit here. But Healy now, the specials will be had. Not anymore. The Booyah Bomb will not be had, but the Tri-Strikes will be had for this potential overtime push. But a great double from the 10. Maybe a triple. Nope, not yet. 20 seconds remain. It is do or die time from the 8th planet.
I mean, yeah, they have to set up right now. They got 15 seconds. They got 1 special, maybe 2, almost at the ready. 2 down for Coral Convergence. That's not what you want to see if you're them right now. They do have a GG strikes kind of to stall out the Rainmaker. They're gonna pick it out. Now, if you're from the 8th planet, you have to protect the end zap with your life. You have to make sure they don't go down. Those strikes are gonna go out. The counter strikes for Coral Convergence are gonna come out. Try to stall it out. It's gonna work. The Booyah Bomb is gonna come out. The killer whale is gonna come out. Just a lot of happening, but Sam on the flank will end it, and with that, Coral Convergence will win the game, will win the set in a sweep, and they will be crowned your this week's champions of From the Ink Up.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure being placed on the Rainmaker, dancing around the Killer Whale, and just the T-Tech being able to sneak around and get that flank to end things here. GG's, a little bit of a surprise here. Coral Convergence are 2 seed, but dominant set win from them for sure. And like you said, congratulations to Tan, Bamboo Shark, Sam Bruce, and Tufa. You are now FTIU 63 champions, and what a set it was. They were potentially gonna get eliminated in semifinals. Remember, they had an advantage 2-0 against Asphyxiation, and then all of a sudden it was 2-2 against them, but they didn't let that previous set bother them at all, as they just kept the ball rolling and dominantly won.
I mean, they just hunkered down. They fixed the mistakes from set to set, and they just, I don't know. They just played really well. And speaking of asphyxiation, as we take a quick look at over at our third place match, asphyxiation is currently up 2-1 against Tetris Effect. So maybe both of those teams could, get on the trophy board. You never know. But yeah, that's just great job by Coral Convergence. They just played well. I don't know what to say. Just played well.
Yeah, congratulations to them. And as we are nearing the end of our broadcast, obviously we have some house cleaning things to do. Topic, where can the viewers find you?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at Topical2. I will be posting where I'm commentating next, or if you want to hear the ramblings of a madman, you can go do that. You find me over on Discord at Topic_2. Always down to just talk about Splatoon, because that's what I do. Rocket, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me at Rocket_Splat on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me on Discord at RocketY, always down to hang around. But yeah, that's enough for us. Thank you for Naga for being a very, very wonderful streamer in the background. Topic, me and you are gonna go play some Mario Party Jamboree now, but that's enough for us. We will say good nights to all of you viewers. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next FTIU.
Yes, have a good one, and always remember, never stop disturbing the peace.